everybody. Welcome back to The Book Return, an Elven Belding Library podcast. I'm Zach. Pretty sure I'm still just known as the Information Manager.
I think so.
Circuit Man, Information Manager Man?
Maybe, yeah.
You guys have to introduce yourselves as well.
Oh, right. I'm Brittany, the library director. Still just the director.
Mm-hmm. And I'm Chloe. I still do some clerk stuff, but more media stuff now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Intros are getting longer.
That's true. You knocked it out of the park.
You did.
That was the first try, too.
I was up all night practicing in the shower. And
all night in the shower?
Yeah. Well, I didn't turn the water on. It was just I like the darkness and the reverberation.
It's like a sound booth, right?
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Uh-huh.
I've actually recorded some guitar parts sitting in the bathtub. Because the very good
I can see how that would work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Brings me back to when I would do that.
That's cool.
How was your weekend, everybody?
Cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a chilly one.
Gross.
It was cold. It was my brother's birthday.
Oh.
Had some cake.
What kind of cake?
Ice cream cake.
Okay.
I'm
Cool.
allergic. I didn't have any cake.
Oh, that's a bummer. I like ice cream
Me
cake,
too.
but only if it's from Dairy Queen.
It was.
Yeah,
It was.
that's my favorite.
So
It was
good.
so good. Yeah.
I think I've had cookies and cream ice cream cake every year since I was a child.
nice.
I've not felt very good over the years because I've eaten cake for everybody's birthday, like more than I should.
It's hard to say no.
Hardcore like cake McDonald's diet.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Unrelated, my digestive issues have gotten worse.
Oh my gosh.
So bad. Like I haven't been to work in 3 months.
It's true.
Yeah.
He's going to have to live here for 3 months to get caught up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm there. Trick is to just do your work less good, and then you can do it faster.
Oh my gosh.
But nobody will know. Yeah. So yeah, you guys had a good weekend. What have you been up to? It's been what, 8
It's been a long
years?
time.
No, I think end of September was the last
Wow.
My
one we
God.
did.
It's even
So,
longer.
yeah.
Oh man.
We didn't even do a New Year's
Holiday,
episode.
I know it.
Crazy.
I know it.
Should we just pivot to like doing a New Year's episode?
What are
I'm
your
down.
resolutions?
Oh, to do the podcast again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here we are. 1/3 of our podcast crew has another job. So it's been kind of a nightmare trying to schedule.
Yes.
That's true. I thought we said that on here, but we must not have. We haven't recorded them that long. But
I don't
yes, I have a job
remember.
at Cedar Crest as the librarian.
Is this the first podcast we're doing since you went to
No, I
Cedar
don't
Crest?
think so,
Maybe
but
not.
this is probably the first one we've recorded and posted since.
Probably.
True.
True.
Very true.
Yeah,
So-
we have some in the hopper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty sure the ads that we recorded 8 months ago are going to be
Irrelevant.
expired.
Yes.
Or it'll be so long and they'll be relevant again.
Yes. Cyclical. Amazing. The episode, I feel like we've got a good episode to dive back into.
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
so.
Because even when we're not recording, we talk about this stuff all the time. Nerds who work in
We
a
are.
library.
Yes. Yep. That
So-
we do.
So we're going to be talking about fandoms.
Fandom.
Yeah.
Over the years, fan fiction. What's a fandom? Let's what is the first thing that you like, the first huge rabbit hole that you guys went down and then came out like, oh God, I'm obsessed. What is happening to me?
Oh, like what was the first thing I was a fan of?
Yeah, just like became obsessed with the content.
Aside from Star Wars, which I've been a fan of since I was a very young child, I think the first grown-up fandom that I was a part of was the Stargate SG-1 fandom community.
Nice.
Yeah.
Would you have an online presence? Talk to other Stargate nerds?
Well, since that show was on about 20 years ago, I know it sounds like wild, but it was well, probably closer to 25 because they were on maybe season 4 when I discovered the show. So it's
Okay.
probably been 25 years.
Oh my God.
Online discussion boards was the only way to do things like that.
And people were fanatical.
Because Facebook was barely a thing, and when it was a thing, it was strictly for,
It was like social media.
social at
Yeah,
that point in
like
time. Yeah, exactly.
The people
Yeah.
you know in real life.
Yep,
too.
exactly.
Yep. Usually college friends because
Yeah.
that's who it was available to at the time.
Yep.
All right. That makes sense. You had to have a college email.
Yeah. I made one up, but apparently that didn't work because they had safeguards there. All my friends were switching to Facebook, and MySpace was a sinking ship.
Aw.
My top 8 whittled away.
Yep. So yeah, Stargate SG-1. I still enjoy that show a lot. It's like one of my comfort shows. So yeah.
How many
Sounds
different
good.
Stargates are there?
Well, there was the original movie with Kurt Russell and James Spader.
That's right.
Which
Still have
came
the action
out
figure.
when I was in high school. And I loved that movie. But then there is the original Stargate SG-1 with Richard Dean Anderson and Michael Shanks and Amanda Tapping and Christopher Judge. Then there was a spin-off called Stargate Atlantis that had a lot of fun crossovers. So a lot of the characters from the original show were on that show, and they went back and forth. And then there was a very short-lived third spin-off show, and I cannot remember what it was called, but it was dreadful.
Oh, good.
It was not good. They were stuck on a spaceship in space. It had nothing to do with the original storyline. It was crap.
Oh,
so I think it only had 2 seasons and then it was done. So
It's frustrating when shows do that, when they take like the
Yeah.
license of a different IP
yeah.
Yeah.
and then they make it their own.
Yeah.
They should just make a different show, but it's a lot
Yeah.
harder.
We don't have to get into Witcher talk, but that's kind of what it makes me think of.
Yep.
I know I bring this up a lot, but I wasn't allowed to like Stargate because my brother was a big fan of DS9, and he was like, only one sci-fi.
You can only have one.
Caught me watching Babylon 5 one day and just like put a hole in the wall. What about you, Chloe?
My first one was Harry Potter for sure, and that I still love Harry Potter. I'm not as much in the fandom stuff as I used to, which I never really. I feel like I'm more of a consumer of fandom stuff, and not
Yes.
really.
Yeah.
I don't really get involved.
Not really a participant. Yeah. We don't cosplay or things like that.
I would
Tragic.
love to, but cosplay is beyond my talent and financial means.
Same.
Yeah, but it's very cool. I was really into like the YouTube fandom stuff, like Super Carlin Brothers. I still watch them. They do like a ton of theory stuff, and Harry Potter was one of the first ones that they really dive deep in. And now they do like Bluey, and they do tons of Star Wars and Avatar, like all the major fandoms. Yeah,
It's cool that they're still active.
they're super active. They're huge.
It's like it makes me very happy that Bluey is so like well loved.
Yeah.
You should watch their Bluey theories.
I want to.
They're cool.
Are they dark?
I'm not sure. I haven't watched them because I haven't seen enough Bluey.
Okay.
I was disappointed when I saw that they weren't going to write any more shows.
Oh, really?
The writer of Bluey is moving on to other things, and so they're doing a film, and then there won't be any more episodes.
That's tragic.
So I know it.
Yeah.
Like one of the best kids shows
Ever.
in the last 3 decades.
Like honestly,
Yeah.
and I knew that they were going to have to move on eventually because those kids are not going to sound like kids forever.
Right. Sure.
And like, how can you replace Bluey and Bingo?
No
those
shot.
kids are just
Yeah.
phenomenal.
It's better to let it end naturally.
Yeah, and I love that like the kids have stayed anonymous.
Yeah.
Like, they're just Bluey and Bingo. They're not in the credits.
Oh,
at all.
really?
Nope.
Wow.
Yeah, they're just totally hiding their identity.
Interesting.
Like they're still going to make bank. But
Yeah.
they're not
And
going
I'm
to be
sure they'll get
harassed.
credit for
Yeah.
it when they're a little older.
Yeah. They probably saw what happened to the Olsen twins in America.
Right.
And wanted to avoid that.
Yikes.
Child stars shouldn't exist.
No. Well, Corey Feldman turned out okay.
Poor
my
Corey
God.
Feldman.
What's
He's
left of
always
him?
like our go-to bad example.
Like that's
He's earned it, though.
That's true.
Corey Feldman is my first and last Phantom. I love that man so much.
Oh, my gosh. What was your first one, actually?
My first one actually was probably I was around 13 when I started getting into Buffy, and then hardcore went down that rabbit hole.
I was also a big Buffy fan.
It was hard not to be. I know I've brought this up on the podcast before, but I would go into chat rooms, role-playing chat rooms, and my handle was Spike Vamp Slayer. And so everybody would have like this really corny like intro line, like walks in, sits down, looks across room. And then you just wait for somebody to interact.
The
with you.
internet used to be so much fun, and now it's
It's
just
so good.
trash.
Oh my
I know.
I'm sure people do that.
I'm
places
sure,
still,
yeah.
But
I don't know.
there's just something nice about logging into AOL and that terrible dial tone sound. And then like on the homepage, like there are chat rooms that you can click on. It's like the olden days. Like
Seems
nothing was
pure.
really regulated.
Right?
Yeah.
And so
Yep.
ran into a lot of predators on there.
Sure.
That makes sense.
But-
They're still there.
Yeah.
Oh,
that
by
is
far.
true.
Yeah.
And they're a little sneakier about it now.
They are.
Yeah.
They didn't feel like they had to like mask what their intentions were. So they're very easy to spot. But
They might be more likely to find you in real life now.
true. Well, I had like an entire Word doc that had all of my Spike roleplay.
That's
Like
amazing that you
blocks.
saved it.
Oh,
Can you
yeah.
find it again?
Oh no, that was like 10 compacts
Yeah,
away.
that's fair.
The computer brand that no longer exists. But I actually met somebody who was role playing as Drusilla, who was Spike's love interest in Buffy, and we're still like friends to this day.
Interesting.
We still like leave
Cool.
comments on each other's Facebook, and this was in like 1998.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that there's nothing like that with fandom anymore.
No, there's not.
Yeah,
Also, there are no fandom friends anymore. Everyone hates each other.
because everybody's opinion is slightly different and can't stand for that.
Yeah, I feel like there's little pockets. Like Tumblr died and then came back, and then I feel like died again. But there's little pockets of like, and like Reddit. Reddit is good because the moderation can be really good. Like there's some good fandom and fanfic like subreddits, like the AO3 one for Archive of Our Own
Yeah.
is really good because they don't put up with like brigading or like people attacking each other. This is the loudest plane or something.
Somebody mowing the lawn?
That's what I was just thinking.
Okay.
Who is mowing the lawn on March 25th?
Yeah, there's still like
Yeah,
snow on the
it's
ground.
snow, yeah.
That's dangerous.
The grass is not growing yet.
I do think Reddit is probably the closest thing to like a safe board for like
Sure.
different fandoms, depending on the subreddit, because one's like if you have bad moderators,
Yes, it
It's
does
gonna be
depend on the
toxic.
subreddit.
but
You have like the moderators have so much power that it can be really good or really bad.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's very embarrassing reading about the moderators that have like a power trip. So it's like you're not making the difference in the world that you think you're making.
Yeah, right.
You're on the out of the park baseball subreddit and you are just going to town on people.
Is that one toxic?
Not anymore.
Oh, okay.
The thing that I like about the out of the park baseball subreddit is there's actual baseball players that go there, like double A, single A,
Sure.
that find themselves in the game, and then they post a picture of themselves in the game, like I made it.
Aw.
It's very cool.
Nice, that's
Everybody's
fun.
very supportive.
Yeah. I think people do still find like friends online because I feel like when I was in high school, there's lots of kids that I would know that didn't like hang out with people in real life. They had like, these are their online friends and they're like, we're going to meet someday.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's scary.
It makes me think of
scary.
Ready Player One,
Yeah.
where that is the only place that you really knew anyone other than who was right around you.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that'll be a reality before too long.
Oh,
yeah.
Like,
we're all in the metaverse.
kind of. Yeah. Okay. Just a slight aside. Do you remember the first ad for the metaverse and Mark Wahlberg, what's his name? Zuckerberg. The whole thing was just him very robotically explaining the metaverse, and he was
Yeah.
like talking to this life-size version of his avatar who had no legs.
That was weird. I do remember that.
And then then he had like a very natural, not robotic conversation with the CEO about how cool the metaverse is going to be and how humans are going to digest it.
Ugh.
Yeah. No. No,
Didn't
thank
pan
you.
out.
It didn't. Nothing really happened with that.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Did you ever interact with this? Similar to what I was asking before, but you said that Chloe said that she was more of a consumer. Did you ever interact with people on message boards in like the early 2000s?
Sure.
late 90s? Okay.
Yeah. Especially when Battlestar Galactica was on.
Good show.
For a lot of sci-fi people, that show is like the pinnacle of sci-fi TV
Yeah.
in short series, you know. And that was really interesting, and it was one episode a week, you know, so you
old
had
days.
a week to
I missed that.
digest what had happened and theorize about what was going to happen, and that was actually a fun kind of time frame as far as being a fan of that show.
And that fandom was big enough that like I never watched Babylon Galactica, but I still like knew enough about it.
Battlestar.
I never I never watched Babylon Galactica either.
I was like, oh, maybe this is a thing I've never heard of. And then Brittany's face was like, no.
What is Battlestar Galactica? This all gets cut. Well, what were you talking about?
Battlestar Galactica.
Okay, so what did I say that was weird?
Babylon Galactica.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess this stays in. That's great.
Great.
Battlestar 5, your favorite show.
Yeah, there you go.
The Battlestar Galactica had such a big fandom that I was hearing about it just like everywhere that I went.
Sure.
Even like I would go on to like the Buffy chat rooms, and people were still talking about Battlestar
Yeah.
Galactica. Like, it was huge.
It's really interesting because there was a version of Battlestar Galactica in the 70s.
Yes.
And a lot of times when there's a reboot of a show and it's, completely redone with a completely new cast, there's such animosity between the old fandom and the new fandom. And this one really wasn't that way.
Yeah.
The Battlestar Galactica fandom was not really a toxic fandom at all.
For sci-fi, that's surprising.
Yeah,
It is
exactly.
surprising.
There were some interesting choices that were made like toward the end of the series that people like debated about, but
Sure.
no one wanted to kill each other over it like they do now.
The good old days.
What?
Crazy. I wonder if part of that is because there was such a large gap between the original run
could be.
and the new
Maybe.
one. It's like,
People were older and
It could
more
be. There was
mature.
one actor from the original show that crossed over into the new one.
oh, interesting.
And he played a different character.
Oh, okay.
But it was the same actor. Everyone knew it was the same. It was kind of like an homage to the original show.
Yeah.
Maybe having that person like co-sign. helps
Maybe
too. Yeah,
so,
I don't
because he
know.
was one of the stars in the original
Oh,
show.
cool. Was it a reboot, like a complete reboot, or was it a
Yes.
continuation?
No, it was a complete reboot.
Okay. Which I guess makes sense when the technology and everything is going to be so
True.
vastly
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
But never
Especially
heard a
in
bad thing
sci-fi.
about the show.
No, it was a great cast, and it actually it finished good. Had a good ending, and yeah.
Which you can't say that about a lot of sci-fi, fantasy, whatever. I still maintain that Deep Space Nine is one of the best like sci-fi pieces of media ever written. It was like one of the first shows. I got really into that fandom too. That's what like got me into the Star Trek.
That's
fandom.
interesting because
Yeah.
it was so insular.
Yeah.
Just like the whole series.
And by insular, what do you mean?
I mean, like the scope of that show was a lot smaller than the scope of the other Star
Sure.
Wars or Star Trek shows because it takes place on the station
Right.
and very rarely they were out and about, but it wasn't often.
Sure. Whereas
So-
like Next Generation, they were violating the Prime Directive
Yeah,
accidentally
left and
every
right.
episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every single time, which was fun to watch, and it's kind of nice watching like serialized television.
There were a lot more politics in DS9.
Yeah, and I like that a lot. And then the last couple of seasons, there was like this overall arc, and
Yeah.
like every episode kind of blended in to each other. And if something significant happened one episode, like it affected that character for the rest of the series.
Sure.
And I think that was probably the first TV show that I saw that had like that level of continuity, which is really cool.
I like that when there is continuity, but a lot of the episodes don't necessarily like. They're still kind of like Supernatural does
Yeah.
that really well. Where especially in the beginning, first few seasons, where it's like the monster of the week, but then there might be like an overarching plot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
I
Deep
enjoy
Space
that.
Nine did that too. Like,
Yeah.
like you still have the baseball episode.
Sure.
Things still happened.
Yeah.
And then the next episode might kind of continue a thread that began like a couple episodes before. So
Yeah.
this is the first time that I felt like smart watching TV. I feel like
Oh,
this
that's
is like
cool.
I was developing these like connections and like,
Critical
theories and
thinking.
stuff. Yeah,
Sure.
That's hard to strike that balance.
very hard. I think that was probably the last Star Trek the series that captured that for me, but I didn't watch Enterprise or anything after that. So I'm just living in the past.
So yeah, it would have to be.
I did watch Enterprise. I enjoyed Enterprise because again, I really liked the cast in that show.
Scott Bakula.
That was a good cast in that show.
That guy's been in some of the best sci-fi
Yeah.
ever made.
Yeah.
Quantum Leap,
Quantum Leap.
Oh yeah.
which I mean that still has like a fandom surrounding it. I feel like it's got an online presence.
It is interesting what endures.
Yes.
What, like,
I
has
have a
continuing
note about that,
fandom.
actually.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. The fandom didn't carry over into the new series. Like they had like one season
Because it wasn't
awful.
Scott Bakula.
Right. Like the original series ended so beautifully. I won't spoil it, but
Because I do want to
That's
watch.
like, I see like posts all the time about like the saddest final scenes in TV series, and that's always the one that
oh,
comes
God.
up.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh.
that and the one about the MASH guy.
Oh God.
Yeah.
The sitcom,
Harry.
and then oh God,
Yeah.
this is actually a war.
Yeah,
Terrible
right.
things
Yeah,
happen.
Yep.
gosh.
Yeah, I'm just gonna ruin it.
Oh, okay.
Quantum Leap has been out for 80
That's
years,
true.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm not gonna make anybody watch it. But do you know the premise for Quantum Leap?
You guys have explained it. I think he like goes back in time, but he's in different people's bodies.
Yeah, he transports into like
Sam
a different
Beckett,
person.
his name
Yeah.
is.
Okay.
Yes.
Dr. Sam.
Dr. Sam Beckett, Ziggy, which
It's a cool premise. It
a
sounds
very cool premise,
cool.
and they did a really good job with it because it was a good way to tackle like really dark, like political issues. There's one episode like he jumped back into Lee Harvey Oswald.
Oh my goodness.
And and so like he kept jumping. He got exhausted over time, just wanted to get back home. But he was like the final episode, it was just like text on a screen. It was like Sam Beckett never returned home.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that's devastating.
Yeah, so devastating.
Wow.
Like he just wanted him to get home to his family.
No.
Nope. I don't know why the new series was so bad, but I am never going to watch it.
I never did either.
I'm sure he returns home in the third episode, the different show.
And then it's just like a sitcom.
Yeah, probably. Like I would love that.
Oh my gosh.
I think. Did you guys have anything else to just like a general conversation about fandom? Your origin stories.
No, I don't think so. I still, though, many of the fandoms that I not necessarily would call myself a part of, but were I a big fandom participant, I'm still fans of those shows.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
Yeah.
Even if like the online presence is kind of dwindled a little
Yeah.
bit, there's still the internet is so big. There's still pockets of like those communities that are still fun to participate with.
Yeah,
You
for sure.
can find good people.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you want to.
true.
Yeah. I feel like my fandom is limited to mostly Reddit, YouTube, and like fan fiction, like Archive of Our Own. But like very select few that I will do like fan fiction and YouTube for, and then like Reddit is where I go when I like finish something, and I'm like,
Sure.
"Well, I just want to see what other people are saying,
Same.
read the theories. What's the general consensus?
Yep.
Yeah. Reddit
Good.
is good for that.
It is, and a really good place back when TV was, like you said, Brittany, once a week. It was so much fun. Like during the entire run of Game of Thrones, like I'd go on
I
Reddit
bet.
to the episode discussions, and everybody was waiting a week. It wasn't something like
Right.
they would just post like an episode discussion per day. Like we had a week to speculate.
Yeah.
So much fun.
Yeah.
Bomb dropping shows has ruined the way that people know how to watch TV, because
Yeah.
it's been interesting because with the recent Star Wars series, Disney Plus has released them one a week. People lose their minds.
Oh,
Well, that doesn't make sense because they forgot to talk about this, and they forgot. It was like, there are still 12 episodes of this show left. No
Watch
one's
the show.
forgotten
Yeah.
it's
anything.
insane. How young are these people that forgot?
Yeah. And they're not used to watching shows like that.
No,
They're not used to
not
having
at
to
all.
wait, so they think if it hasn't happened, it's never happened.
Right. Yeah.
And I feel like the binge-worthy program has kind of changed the way that stories are told in that medium.
Definitely.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
They write shows differently, knowing that they'll be released all at once.
Yeah, there's fewer
sure.
like nail-biting cliffhangers
Yep.
because you could just go to the next episode.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no reason for it.
I do like that more. This isn't true of every show that's dropped all at once, but some of them don't take the time to like remind you of stuff anymore,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
like that because if I'm watching it all at once, I get kind of bored of the like this is not just like a recap, but like
Yeah.
rehashing stuff. I want them to assume that I'm smart enough to remember.
Right.
Yeah,
But
I
f-
like that.
feel like at the same time, like if you're a busy person and you can't watch them all in one day, you kind of get lost because they don't give you like the recaps.
Yeah.
Like I still have the words previously on Lost
Yeah,
in my
yeah.
head.
I'm
Like,
okay
I
with
love
that,
that.
especially because you can skip it on stuff.
Yeah,
When it's
for
like
sure.
in the plot, it annoys me. I can't
sure.
think of an example, but
But no, I totally get what you're saying.
But then you start to wonder why the characters are written so unintelligently as to have to rehash everything all the
Yep,
time.
that's
exactly.
exhausting.
Well, the clunkiest like exposition just takes me right out of a show.
Yeah, same. Or like
Yeah.
they turn on the radio and then it's like the exact information they needed. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Right.
Okay.
Community had a joke about that.
They
where,
do,
like,
yeah.
there's a the Halloween episode, and they turn on the radio to get like reports. They're like, and of course, like it would make sense for it to be at that part right now. So it was like, and then we waited 30 minutes for the,
Yeah. It's Abed as telling a story,
Yes.
a horror story. Yeah.
He's very methodical about how he talks about
I
stuff.
love how Abed talks about TV and movies.
Yeah. So I feel like an interesting topic when we were talking about how to structure this episode, it came up, and I think it was Brittany that asked the question, but book fandoms versus the fandoms of different media. Like, there is a pretty stark difference.
There really is.
Like, not something I've ever thought about. And so,
as I was thinking about like book fandoms that are really avid fandoms, I came up with like 3 right off the top of my head: the Lord of the Rings, or the Tolkien, not just Lord of the Rings, but the Tolkien fandom, the Sherlock Holmes fandom, which is alive and well, and they have conferences all over the world.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
And the Sarah J. Maas fandom.
Oh, yes.
Which is, I mean,
Fanatical.
yes.
yeah.
Scary a little bit.
I've read those books, but they really are serious about those books.
I have not read them, even though I think I would like them, because the fans scare me and I don't want to be a part of it.
Just so crazy.
I think I would like them.
They're on TikTok everywhere. Like there's an entire like subsection of TikTok that's just devoted to the Sarah J.
Good
Maas
Lord.
It's insane.
books and the fandom. And I don't spend a lot of time there, but I'm like, people that spend hours and hours and hours annotating their books and tabbing their books, and it's just wild.
It's weird because I don't get the impression that like the books are that complicated. So,
Well,
like, what are we
as they get more into the series, they start interconnecting.
Okay,
And so she's
okay.
got 3 separate series, and now it's to the point where the series are starting to interconnect, but they
Okay.
all take place in different places and in different timelines, but in the same universe.
That makes more sense. I can
Okay.
see that.
So
That's cool.
now they're like tracking the timelines and the ancestry,
ambitious
and
for-
it is very ambitious. Yeah.
Wow.
Sounds
Okay.
exhausting
I mean,
for an author, too.
Yeah. If it's
for
pulled off
sure.
well, that's
Yeah.
fantastic.
I can't imagine what the wall in her writing office looks
Oh,
like.
God. Seriously. It makes me laugh because I saw her at a bookstore in Colorado in like 2012. This was very early on. She showed up in sweatpants. She was like, sorry if I just kind of stumble because I'm pretty hungover. And she was just so funny and just seemed like somebody who was just casually writing because
Yeah.
I loved it. And now
That's
the
awesome.
huge fan.
I feel like if you wanted to do a comparison, she is like the Taylor Swift of the book world right now.
I could see that.
So
But everybody, regardless of like what they read, probably knows who she is.
Yes.
Or have heard the name before.
Sure.
Or like ACOTAR is
Sure.
like a
Yeah.
hashtag on everything.
ACOTAR.
Yeah. A Court of Thorns and Roses.
Oh, okay. I was going to say it's called Avatar.
you work in a library,
I'm
sir.
surprised that you could, and you're online
Okay,
a lot.
I don't know every acronym in the world. Yeah, my 15-year-old nephew, who's like, I don't know, 40 now, he read those books, and he loved them. And like as soon as he read the first one, he was hooked. And like
Yeah.
I think he's still a big Sarah J. Maas fan.
I do enjoy them. They're the 3 series have very different tones.
Interesting. Okay.
The Throne of Glass series, she started writing when she was still in high school. And so they're written for, I would say, a younger audience. Maybe not necessarily a YA audience, but a younger audience.
like new adult almost.
Maybe,
Okay.
yeah. The Court of Thorns and Roses, I feel like were written for like adults. But again, maybe younger adults. And the Crescent City series is very different. It's urban fantasy. It's very complicated. There's a lot of backstory and world building. And yes, there is in the other ones, but a lot of characters in those ones. And so you really have to read with intention that series. That's the one I like
Okay.
the best.
That sounds the best.
But I am interested to see where she kind of goes and how she continues to connect. And
It's staggering
have to
how
read
much
them.
she's written, considering she's not that old.
No.
And
yeah.
look at George Martin. He's been working on the same book since I was a kid.
I would say that if you total up all the pages of her books, it's at least 3 times as much as he's written.
That's
I'm
crazy.
sure. And
Yeah.
she's still going strong.
Yeah.
And it sounds like they're consistent. Like people still
Yeah.
really like
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
It's not like Rebecca Yarros,
Oh.
Fourth Wing. Like it sounds like she's having like deadline issues, and that's why her
Oh,
like
geez.
last couple
Yeah.
books are not doing as well. Which I feel like those are similar fans.
Yeah, I would say so too.
Yeah.
So conflicted with like deadlines and how they affected the quality of the material. Like I want something in between like George Patterson and George R.R. Martin. Like
George Patterson, James Patterson.
George Patterson. Yep, James Patterson, who turns
If
out
we had a
Something
George
between is
Patterson,
George, yeah.
it would be perfect.
that's what I'm saying.
We need a George Patterson.
What's Patterson's middle name?
I don't know.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Let's say it's
David? I don't know.
Okay, so George R.
D. Patterson.
Patterson. Well, that hurt to say. And I feel like his material is a little bit more dense and like hardcore detailed than Sarah J. Maas, but at the same
Probably.
time, like he just completely ran out of steam.
Yeah.
Which,
What's that?
yeah,
So his background work is more Tolkien-esque.
yeah,
Sure.
100%. In as much as like he still probably wants to be Tolkien, but
Who could blame him?
yeah, exactly. And like we are kind of talking about this yesterday, but the book fandom for Song of Ice and Fire very different from the
Oh, yeah.
TV, and I think it's it's the same reason that Sarah J. Maas has such a huge fandom. It's because when it's like in book form, everything is open to interpretation. It's how
Sure.
the reader is like envisioning things, and whereas like on the like movies and TV, everybody's seeing the exact same thing. There's still that
Yeah,
interpretation,
absolutely.
but there's like less imagination and.
Which I wonder if that leads to more toxicity in the TV fandoms.
Definitely can.
I think so.
Especially like with like casting choices and people
Sure.
being like bigoted about
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
You don't really
as
deal
we
with that
as
much in the
we
book.
head into HBO Harry Potter,
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes. People will be angry.
they already
Yeah.
are.
That's not surprising.
Both sides
I haven't
angry.
been following that.
Yeah.
Yeah. People are very disappointed that John Lithgow is like ending his career on the show, and they're like, "You're supporting an ideology that you probably shouldn't be supporting, even though this is like a great gig."
Yeah.
They cast a black actor for Snape, which
Oh,
is
interesting. I didn't
just
hear-
infuriating
Oh my
people.
God.
Oh, good.
Get over it.
Seriously.
I think if they incorporate that as part of the plot, that could be really interesting and
sure.
good, because Snape was like so bullied as a kid, but he also, I mean, in the racism of Harry Potter, is a really racist character.
Right?
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting how it seems like she very delicately handled like themes of
Some of them.
yeah, and
Some
then
of 'em.
the one she didn't cover, she covered on social media, but
Right.
as the
With
villain.
much less thought.
Yeah, yeah. And
Very
I'm
surprising still.
I'm guessing the Harry Potter book versus movie fandoms differ for the same reason.
I don't know. I think they kind of are.
I think so too.
Merge.
Those ones seem to be very, if you've read the books, you've seen the movies. Not everyone who's seen the movies had read the books,
Right.
though.
But it's
Sure.
a smaller percentage than most. I
Yeah,
would think.
but I think a lot of that had to do with the original casting because it was so brilliant.
It was
Yeah.
really good.
That, and
Yeah.
even now, if I read the Harry Potter books or if I do a reread, those are the characters I see,
Same,
and I'm
yeah.
okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is cool because it's one of those things that's open for your interpretation.
Sure.
Which I don't know how big of a difference that makes in like the fandom community, but I know like the weekly Game of Thrones thread, people are trying to like put together visual cues and stuff and trying to debate on the significance of such and such.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's like written, it's obviously got some significance. I feel like
Yeah, everything in a book is there
Yeah.
on purpose. Whereas
Yeah.
in a TV show, there's hundreds of people making decisions, not just one person.
right.
And an
So-
actor may just accidentally move their arm in a
Yeah.
different way.
yeah, exactly. People
There's much
obsess
more to
over it.
chance.
Yeah.
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 There's a coffee cup.
Yeah, right.
I feel like the book fandoms go deeper too. Like people are extremely passionate and probably more gatekeepy than
Yeah.
something that's like on a visual medium, something that everybody's experiencing the same.
TV and movies are a little more accessible.
Yeah.
And are more open to, or more, a little easier maybe to rewatch.
Sure.
Than like reread a whole book.
Yeah, 100%.
So people might like be more meticulous. I don't know.
Which I never understand people that reread books, but that's only because I suck at being a reader
But you reread nonfiction,
sometimes.
which is crazy to me. I reread fiction a lot, but not nonfiction like ever.
well, and the reason that I reread nonfiction is because like I'm trying to like learn stuff,
Which
If
makes
I-
sense, yeah.
Whereas fiction, I feel like the stuff that I've read, it's been like comfort reads. Like I can't comfort read World at Arms by Gerhard Weinberg,
No,
which
doesn't
covers
sound
the entirety of World War II.
Yeah.
But I've had to reread big parts of that because I've forgotten.
I just accept
Yes.
that I've forgotten and
Which,
read a new
yeah,
book.
100%. And then you could read nonfiction, give up at page 100, and you've still learned
Still
100
learned.
pages worth of
That's
stuff.
true.
But yeah, small aside there. Something that you said earlier, Brittany, I found interesting that Sherlock still has this giant like fandom community.
Sure.
And that was like one of the first massive like big fandoms out
Yeah.
there. Like after
Yeah.
he killed off Sherlock,
Yep.
the like the letter campaign
Yeah.
stressed him out
Yeah.
beyond
Aw.
belief, to the point where I think it was Hound of the Baskervilles was the one that came back after Sherlock died,
Maybe so. I can't remember.
but he didn't want to write it at
No.
all. It was the fandom that got the artist to continue his work.
Mm-hmm.
That's sad.
It is sad, but Hound of the Baskervilles is it's a bop.
Yeah.
It's a great book. Like, it's just surprising that he didn't want to came back and wrote one of like his most
The
popular.
best.
That
Yeah.
is
Yeah. I
surprising.
shouldn't say the best, but yeah, the most popular ones. And maybe that's why it's one of the most popular
True.
ones.
Maybe.
True.
Yeah. Everybody was. I don't know how people were appeased, but
Yeah, I'm not sure.
yeah. Have you heard of fanzines before?
No.
Okay. They're independently published magazines, like pre-internet, that people
Okay.
could.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's still like conventions pre-internet, and there are a bunch of people that produced their own fanzines, and people would collect them and then like contribute to. It's like totally different type of way of engaging with your fandom, which I thought was very interesting, which started, I think, early 20th century. And I think part of that was like the whole Sherlock thing. That's how people would communicate.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Star Trek fanzines are like considered kind of like the first like modern fanfic, like fanfic as it
Yeah.
exists today. There was like tons of Star Trek fanzines, and the creators were super into it. Like they would engage with it and
So
like
cool.
respond to them and stuff, which is super
Huh,
cool.
That is interesting.
And then they tried to do that with Star Wars. Like a bunch of fanzines came out and they sued everyone, and it died very
George.
quickly, which is so sad.
George needs to
Like,
chill out.
Yeah, 'cause
George.
it's good for your IP.
Right.
Like you want
It
fans
is.
to engage, but they were like, no, can't use these names or anything.
That's so bad.
Yeah,
Like, because the Star Trek one started in the 1960s, and there's like an official like Star Trek magazine, and they'd actually have advertisements for different like fanzines.
That's
that
cool.
yeah.
Wow.
And so
super awesome.
it had to be amazing to like publish your own fanzine and then to have that recognized by like Gene Roddenberry.
Yeah.
And, like, actually advertised.
That's a good way to make like a lifelong fan.
Yes.
Yeah,
And then George Lucas did the opposite.
suing
Yeah.
them will make them a lifelong hater.
I think he sued Topher Grace because
gosh.
Topher Grace has the original or episodes 1 through 3. Like he did a fan supercut.
Yes.
That's
I remember
cool.
that.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing. It's supposed to be
Yep.
fantastic.
Yep. I do
It's
remember that.
very hard to find.
That's
that,
still so much like work and art. Like it's so frustrating to me that people are just like, nope, like you can't do this.
Yeah.
You can't use, I don't know, intellectual property laws are too strict.
They are.
In my
And
opinion.
it's not like Topher Grace was like trying to monetize it. It wasn't
Right.
going to have a theatrical release.
It's just art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a lot of corporations and businesses don't want you to alter any of the source material whatsoever for any purpose.
Because what if they want to do it
True. Exactly.
and make money off it?
Which I'm sure that is actually something that
Which,
happens a
yeah,
lot.
and it's ridiculous because they're not going to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you guys think that you engage more with book or TV movie fandoms?
I feel like there are fewer book fandoms.
I agree with that.
There are a lot more TV fandoms. Now, the question about is whether or not you would consider yourself a part of the fandom or if you're just a fan of the piece of
Right.
media.
Right.
Right.
Big distinction.
Yeah.
There is a big distinction.
Because I am a huge fan of Star Wars and always have been. I would not consider myself part of the Star Wars fandom because
That's
they
the
are
worst.
the worst.
Oh my
They're
God.
so scary.
Some of like possibly actually the very worst.
I think maybe,
Terrifying, hateful, just horrid people.
Yep.
Yeah.
People that misinterpreted what Star Wars actually is.
And,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
people who enjoy Star Wars just for Star Wars get attacked constantly for just enjoying Star Wars.
Yeah. Can't have that.
No,
awful.
no.
It's sad.
Yeah. It's not surprising. It's the same with Star Trek. I think Star Wars is probably a bigger offender, but the Star Trek fandom is toxic for similar reasons.
That seems relatively recent, though, right? Like I feel like it wasn't that toxic early.
As they kind of divided off into new shows, I think it's gotten worse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
For sure.
Yeah. I feel like just the toxicity around fandoms have gotten worse just in general in the last 50
Well,
years.
sure, because social media makes it very easy.
100%.
Negativity does better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why constructively criticize something when you can be like completely inflammatory and vitriolic
Yeah.
and then you get more attention for it
Yeah.
in these communities? But
And people have a hard time seeing the difference between constructive criticism and just people hating something too.
Yeah.
So constructive criticism is just like torn down also a lot of the time.
yeah, I think it falls into like this mentality that not the I guess I'll put my shoes on the feet of somebody in a toxic fandom.
Okay.
Well, it's a Slavic saying. Don't worry about
Sure.
it. People that have been watching Star Wars forever, they might have this weird idea that they have got like some ownership of it. It's
Like they know the right way to be a fan.
yeah, it's like gatekeeping, but much worse.
Yeah.
Because if you don't agree with them, it's not a difference of opinion. You're an idiot, and you don't understand like how the show should be made. It's just that toxic personality that it's fun to read.
Yeah.
Usually, always racist.
The entitlement. It's the
Yeah,
this is the level
it
of
is.
entitlement that I have issues
Yeah.
with.
As if they both like own it and they are owed something from creators and other
Yeah,
fans.
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it too.
It's just gross. Just
Yeah.
you're enjoying this for very little money. Usually you don't have to
Yeah.
pay that much to consume something. Like they don't owe you anything.
And it's
Right.
a fictional product. Like
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
put your
It
It
energy
is
into
not
something
going
else.
to affect your real life
No.
unless
No.
you allow it to.
Yes.
And they do allow it to
Yes,
do
they
so.
do.
Yes.
It's insane. I was going to say something. I forgot. Talk amongst yourselves. It'll come back to me.
All right.
Do we want to maybe take a break?
Yeah.
Be a good point to pause.
That'll give my brain some time to
Think a little.
lubricate itself.
Ad break.
Ad break. Hey there, Chloe.
Hey Zach.
What time is it? We're recording an ad.
We're recording an ad. That's
Sorry to ask you a question, then step on it.
ad time.
We've got a lot to cover.
In the
Mark?
ad, we have like two things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're big ones.
They are big ones. They're both really big ones.
Yeah, because this Saturday, we're going to start summer reading.
Yay!
Yeah,
And you and I are the ones working.
that's true.
Yeah.
So come down, tell us your favorite fandom.
Yeah,
and then,
that'd be great.
grab a bag.
Yeah, adults and kids can sign up.
Yeah.
Like kids any age, like 0 to 18.
Yes. And we got them broken down by age groups this year.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Not,
It's not by grade.
Yeah.
Yes. I think it'll make things a little simpler for everybody.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you can't make it on Saturday, show up just whenever.
Yes, doesn't
We're
have to
pretty
be Saturday.
loosey-goosey.
That's just the first day.
Yeah.
What are some of the prizes? There's some really cool prizes. Do you remember? You're looking at me blankly. There's cool prizes.
They're
There's
so good.
for the kids, I know Barbara got a lot of experience prizes, like
Yeah.
John Ball Zoo. And I think for the teens, there's bowling and the movies. Yeah. I think
Like a bowling set.
No, like a gift card to the bowling alley.
Hey,
Yeah.
nice.
To Hillcrest, I think.
Can't start too young.
Yeah.
Bowling is for everybody.
I think I saw an Echo Dot for the adults.
That's
and
cool.
a charcuterie set.
Yes. So yeah,
Camping stuff. Yeah, really cool prizes.
in our bags, it's got everything you need.
Yep.
It's got the logs. Read every 5 days. Come in, get a little prize, get a ticket, enter to
Yes.
win a prize.
Yeah, very fun. I'm really excited.
Yeah, it's that time of year.
Yes.
The summertime.
So we've got summer reading, and then we also this year, every Monday through Thursday from 12 to 2, we're serving free meals. We're working with Feeding America.
Cool.
So kids 18 and younger can come and get a free meal. There'll be 2 options every day. You don't have to sign up. You don't have to fill out any paperwork. You just get a meal.
You okay?
Yeah, my throat and voice are a little going out a little bit.
Oh, because you were feeding America.
Because I was feeding America.
Yeah.
I don't
Do-
think that's why, but
Do you get to eat what the kids don't?
I do not know. We keep the food, and it's shelf stable till like 2027 or something.
Wow,
So it's all gonna go to kids.
that's great. And some of it is tuna.
Yep. Today we had tuna salad and turkey and cheese.
Did you guys have pizza the first day?
We did have pizza the first day. It's not like pizza like you're thinking. It's like a pizza kit, kind of.
Okay, so
But
it's
it was
like
a big
military
hit.
rations.
It's a lot
Kind of.
better than that, I think.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's really like high quality food, and it's healthy, and there's always a juice, and There's honestly, I think it's more food than a kid could eat in one meal. Like there's like gonna be a couple snacks for later still.
Yeah, the turkey bags. Like I picked one of them up earlier, and it was like 3 pounds.
It's hefty.
Very hefty.
It's a lot of food.
Yeah, that's awesome though.
Yeah, come get food, guys.
Hey, want to go talk about fandoms some
I
more?
do.
Okay.
Awesome.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Whoa, good ads, guys. Good to have you back. That was cool.
Fun stuff coming
A
up.
lot of fun stuff coming up.
Always fun stuff.
Summer's around the corner. Yeah. So we're talking about fan fiction. No, we're not. We're talking about fandoms.
Here
we'll
we
talk
are.
about fan
All of
fiction. Yeah, we're the whole kid and caboodle.
Yeah. So I was interested in looking up or thinking about like the longest persisting fandoms.
Interesting.
So I came up with 3 that have been around for a very long time. One is Doctor Who.
Oh, that
Okay.
makes sense.
So Doctor Who first aired in 1963 and has run not concurrently because they took a break like in the late 90s to the early aughts, but the fandom persisted. And I think the way that the Doctor regenerates brings in new fans
Oh, for sure.
every time because people who are fans of the actor will start watching the show because the actor is on it. And I think that is a really interesting way of keeping things new and exciting.
For sure.
And so they also have a very, very extensive audio library where not only is it, on TV, but also there are audio adventures.
I didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
And
That's
we
very
have
cool.
we have a bunch of them here on audio here at the library, but they bring back like previous doctors and previous actors and previous companions, and they do audio adventures with these previous ones
That's
too.
super
So
cool.
even though the actor may have moved on from the show,
Sure.
they're still involved with the IP.
Okay,
and
that's
so
very
it still
interesting.
kind of keeps those fans active in the community
Yeah.
too.
How do you access those? Is it like an audiobook or podcast? kind of
They're
thing?
audiobooks, a lot of them.
Okay.
The BBC produces them.
Okay.
And so
Are they
they're
available in
for-
print form at all, or are they just...
They are. We have
Okay.
quite a few of them here on the shelves.
Sweet.
And I listen to them. I like them a lot. So that's an interesting way that they have kind of kept people and got new people.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
When they produce those, does it have like I know it's got a different format than the show because it's an audio medium, but is that like taken into consideration, or is it just kind of
is it,
like a
like,
narrative?
canonical?
Yeah.
Oh no, they're very well done.
Okay.
They're very engaging. There are some sound effects and stuff like that as well.
Okay.
So
It's like a radio show
yeah,
almost.
exactly.
That's very cool.
That is cool.
Yep.
Be fun.
I didn't know it started I knew it started in the 60s, but I thought it was like late 60s.
Nope.
63 is earlier than I...
Yep.
That's
63. Star Trek was 66 and
Yeah.
is still continuing. So that's
Bonkers.
an extensive amount of time
Yes.
as well.
There was that larger break for Star Trek, I feel like pre-Discovery.
But interesting that the idea is always there. Well, there were the movies.
True.
True.
So, and then there were the J.J. Abrams movies
Right.
that kind of bridged that gap.
True. Which
Before Discovery.
There's how many years break were there between? Was it First Contact? No, was it Insurrection or Nemesis? That was like the last.
I think
TNG
Nemesis,
movie. And that was the one
maybe.
with Tom Hardy, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, almost ruined his career.
Yes.
How big of a gap was it between Nemesis and
I
the
believe
J.J. Abrams stuff?
I was maybe in high school or just out of high school when Nemesis came out, because I remember watching Nemesis when it came out, maybe very early on in college.
Okay.
First Contact was 2000 and I believe 14. Not First Contact, but the first J.J. Abrams
Sure.
one. I just watched it the other night, actually, because
Still
I
good.
very much enjoyed the first two of those.
They're
The
very
third
good.
one was trash, but the first two were great.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of those J.J. Abrams Dutch angles that he loves so
Oh, yeah.
much.
But
Never gets old.
Yep.
and Enterprise was in there
Yep.
too, and so there were still like smaller projects I feel like that
Yeah.
kind of bridged the shows.
True. Yeah, I remember when they announced Discovery. It was
Generations.
Generations with
Yeah.
96?
Yeah.
Great movie.
That was good.
Well, great nostalgic movie.
Yes. The premise was amazing.
Yes, 100%.
So the Next Generation crew encounters Captain Kirk.
Oh,
William
okay.
Shatner,
That's
Captain
fun.
Kirk.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Nice.
He was the scouting the galaxy while your grandfather is in diapers. He said that to Picard.
Wow.
Yep.
You
And
guys
then-
should do a Star Trek rewatch podcast.
That would be fantastic.
That would be fantastic.
Like, even if just doing the movies. Well, my brother might get upset because he has.
Oh, he has that.
That's his entire podcast.
Can we block your brother from listening? Sorry, Jared.
He doesn't need to know anything.
We can do the
that's
new
so
stuff
funny.
that he's not doing.
True.
Yeah.
They
Go
he's
backwards and
yeah.
meet him in the middle.
That would be very cool. Like, I'm down doing that. Yeah. I was so excited when Discovery came out, then I never watched it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Tragic.
I do that a lot too. I'll get super excited about something, and then it makes me too nervous to watch it ever.
So
Same
I
with music
found
for you, too.
the
Yeah,
timeline. We were discussing Discovery and Strange New Worlds the other day, and so Star Trek Discovery seasons 1 and 2 take place, and then Strange New Worlds comes in.
Okay.
So Strange New Worlds season 1 and Discovery season 3 move forward.
Okay. Interesting.
So, yeah.
I'm glad that there are Star Trek shows that aren't just rehashing like early Star Trek.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I love Strange New Worlds.
I've heard it's fantastic.
People got very upset because there's a musical episode.
I love these.
Amazing.
All shows have musical episodes
Yes.
these days.
Seriously.
Like, people were just throwing themselves.
Oh my
And I was
gosh.
like, do any of you remember The Next Generation? I mean, they were Sherlock Holmes and Watson. Come on.
constantly. And Moriarty was always a problem.
That's
Yeah, right.
fantastic.
But yeah, so that fandom has persisted for a very long time.
They have.
Another one that you may not have thought of that has persisted since 1969, the Scooby-Doo fandom.
Oh,
Okay.
no, I wouldn't have
Scooby-Doo
thought that.
first aired in 1969, and he and the gang are still solving mysteries
Yeah.
to this day.
It's, for better or
or-
worse.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're both talking about Velma.
Yeah, there's some other ones that aren't great, but that's the worst
Yeah.
one.
But
Yeah.
I feel like considering the amount of content that the Scooby-Doo
Yeah.
IP has produced, they're batting over 500.
They are.
I'd say.
Yeah,
You
I know
can
the
meet them
majority
in
is good.
Universal Studios.
That's fun.
bonkers.
Oh my gosh. Do they have a Great Dane, or is it just a guy in a costume?
They're
It's a
totally
man-Dane
real.
hybrid. Yeah. Yeah.
He's totally real.
It's the Scooby.
Uh-huh.
He's made in a
Very
lab.
old.
It's grotesque.
Can you beat Scrappy? Scrappy Doo?
No.
Oh,
Universal Studios has standards.
oh, that's for the best.
Scrappy Doo's the
Because if he was in character, he would just be like peeing on people.
So
Very true.
yeah.
Just like the show.
Corley has recently discovered Scooby-Doo, and so we're watching the Scooby-Doo show. So there was Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? And that was 3 seasons, and then came the Scooby-Doo show. Very much a continuation of the old show, but it has Scooby-Dum.
I love Scooby Doo.
Forgot
So
about that.
and she also loves Scooby-Dum, and then their cousin Scooby-Dee.
Yes, I remember her.
It was in an episode, and Corley's like, "There are so many Scoobies." And I said, "Well, wait until Scrappy." And she goes, "Who's Scrappy?" I said, "The most annoying,
terrible.
naughty little puppy
Little
you've
jerk.
ever met." And she goes, "Oh, he sounds fun." I said, no,
Say that
he's
now.
not.
Wait until you meet him.
Yeah.
Not part of the same family.
Yeah,
Like, I'm guessing Scooby-Doo has
Scrappy
like,
Doo's the nephew
okay.
of Scooby-Doo.
I just assumed that it was like the Russian naming convention where the last name was first because they're all Scooby something.
Oh,
Oh,
And
then
then
he's
the
a
first name.
Scrappy.
No,
Yes.
yeah.
I think the Scoobies are siblings, maybe.
We
remember.
just watched the Scooby Dee episode 2 days ago. So Scooby Dee is the cousin of Scooby Doo and Scooby Dum.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. Like, need to get to the
It's just
bottom
a
of that.
family name.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's like the maybe like Greek Catholics being like Mary Therese and
Yeah.
Mary.
Definitely where
Yeah.
they were going
Yeah.
with that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I can think of probably the earliest fandom that was like huge. Still not big today, but Listomania.
What?
It's spelled Listom Ania,
I have no idea.
but it was it's a Hungarian composer Hans
Oh, okay.
Liszt.
Okay.
Yeah.
People, it was like the Beatles.
Is that before Plato? He had lots of followers.
It was, yes,
The Odyssey
well
and the
before.
Iliad.
1811, so slightly after. But it was like,
A more modern version of it, though.
yes, it was covered most of the 19th century.
Huh.
I don't know what it is about Hans Liszt.
That's a
I
good
think
question.
part of
Okay.
it is because he had like this public presence, like he would perform for the people, and like hordes would show up to watch him.
Interesting.
Whereas maybe
so-
his contemporary composers didn't do that as
Yeah,
much.
they were all very mentally ill
Yeah.
and addicted to the worst of substances.
That
Like
makes sense.
Johann Sebastian Bach, phenomenal, weird guy. Same with like Beethoven and Mozart. Like they didn't
Interesting.
really want to play as much for people, I don't think.
Sure.
But don't.
He's like a populist composer.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is
There's
interesting.
even a song called Listomania by Phoenix, I think. Very catchy song.
I did not know any of that. That's
I
cool.
didn't
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
Another one that I came across was the Sherlock Holmes. We talked about that. But, yeah.
I feel like one of the collective fandoms that isn't just dedicated to one show, but is the fandom dedicated to 80s cartoons.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It's a little bit of a culty.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it seems like people who are a fan of one are a fan of like 10.
Yeah. It's just as long as it's got that Hanna-Barbera feel.
Yeah.
Like the nostalgia in and of itself is like a fandom.
The
Yeah,
He-Man,
yeah,
She-Ra, Thundercat, Transformers.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Were they going to do another Transformers cartoon, or am I just did I dream this for no
I
reason?
don't know. There's a new Voltron cartoon,
Oh, that's
relatively new, like within the last 5 years.
Okay.
It's on Netflix.
Probably what I'm thinking about.
Maybe.
I love the
Oh, yeah.
She-Ra reboot.
I want to get into it. But
You would enjoy it. and
But
your
people
kids would
hate
too.
it because
Yes.
it's not the original show.
Yeah.
And it's diverse. And yeah. So
It's really well written.
Yeah.
several
I don't
groups
like
come
it.
together out of
Yeah.
hatred
Yeah,
to hate on
that's
the
true.
show.
Racism,
Insane.
homophobia, transphobia. Just,
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel
Just
like-
women.
We're talking earlier about like serial or week to week stuff as opposed to just being able to binge watch. I feel like I finish way fewer shows now that the model has changed to binge
You know,
binge
that's
watching.
really interesting. I see the same thing of myself.
Yeah.
So I found this show on Netflix the other day. It's called AP Bio.
Oh, great show.
And I made it like partway through the season 3 because I binge watched it, and then I was like, eh.
Yeah, you just get burnt out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then-
And I loved it. It's hysterical.
It is Glenn
It's-
Howerton from It's Always Sunny.
So funny.
Maybe you'll come back to it in like 3 years.
I think
Yeah.
I think maybe like another 2 weeks, and I'm gonna
Okay,
want to pick
okay.
it up again. Season 3, there were a couple episodes in the first part of season 3 that were like meh,
Yeah.
and that kind of like I tailed off a little bit
Yeah.
after those couple of episodes that I didn't particularly that weren't as engaging.
Right.
The time jump was weird.
Oh,
do you
I
rem-
only watched the first season.
Okay,
Loved it.
all right. So there's a weird time jump. They handle it really really cleverly. So there's a previously on AP Bio, and then there's this previously on AP Bio, and then but none of it actually ever happened on
That's
AP
interesting.
Bio.
That's so
Okay,
funny.
okay.
So
That is a good way to do
and
it.
then like the next episode, there's been like a bit of a time jump, but I'd enjoy that show. But
clever.
yes, I kind of just ran out of steam.
Yeah, I
So-
feel like that's what happens to me too.
Yeah.
Like I'll
Yeah.
watch 4 episodes, and then if I take like a week break, there's like another thing that I'm supposed to binge.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
just too much. I'm overwhelmed. I like having
Yeah.
an entire week to just like
Mm-hmm.
look forward to the next episode of something. I feel like I haven't had that since Game of Thrones.
Sure.
But you could do that, but
I could
it's hard to actually make yourself do that.
Mm-hmm.
to like wait a week or well,
You could
part
just
of
watch
that,
one a week.
I would
Or
normally,
one a
but
day.
Yeah,
even,
True.
that'd be better.
You know,
that
really.
might be good. But even part of it is just like being able to engage with the community. And if I'm
That's
even
fair.
doing it like one a day, everybody else has moved on.
That's true. Yeah.
Everybody
Sure.
finished the season in a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like-
Reddit is good because it has a spoiler mechanism.
It does.
So you can kind of try to avoid spoilers, but it's not easy still. Not
Yeah.
everyone uses it.
I guess there's been a big issue with like people spoiling Severance, which is a show I really want to watch.
That
It's supposed
looks
to be fantastic.
Yeah.
Who's
But,
in that?
Adam
I've heard of it.
Scott
Okay,
from
yeah.
Parks and Rec I think it's on Apple TV, and the creator is Ben Stiller.
Oh,
Interesting.
A really good theme song. I haven't seen an episode, but apparently there's nothing else like it. It's like comedy, horror, drama, sci-fi.
Okay.
But
Cool.
I haven't had it spoiled yet. But that is an issue with Reddit.
Yeah.
Where if you are behind the times.
Yeah.
Well, that's another
depends
thing I
on the
liked about
subreddit you're
like
on.
the week to week thing is like
Yeah.
fewer spoilers because
Yeah,
you knew
definitely.
exactly when everybody else was going to watch what episode.
Yep, that's for sure. Yep. What would you guys say you think is the biggest fandom, whether it be, or you could say like, what do you think is the biggest book fandom and the biggest like visual media fandom?
I feel like book fandom, it's still hard to beat Harry Potter.
Sure.
Like it's still
Yeah.
going extremely strong.
Harry Potter and Tolkien
Yeah.
are both really big, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Star Wars maybe for movies. Marvel is
I was-
huge.
Marvel
I was
is
going to say
big.
It might
Marvel's
be Marvel.
big.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be my
Probably
go-to.
that. Yeah.
What about TV?
Like The Office.
I think
still.
Stranger
Yeah.
Things
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
is
huge.
really
It's massive.
the kind of the bellwether right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would think so.
I'm going to be in the depths of despair when that show ends.
Aw.
Is it the final
Love
season
it
coming
so
up?
much, yeah.
Oh.
I'm sure they'll end it well though.
They've had plenty of time.
Yeah.
There are 8 episodes, and each episode is around 90 minutes. So they've
feature-length
got
movie.
plenty of time.
Jeez.
It's like
So
8
much.
movies.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Oh my gosh.
Which when I hear that, I get paralyzed and I can't start it.
It's so
But
much.
you haven't watched season 4 yet,
I
right?
have not.
Yeah.
Same.
And then I
That's almost
binged
season
I did binge the seasons before that, like in a day or two, whenever they would
Same.
come out.
I watched them, like my whole family watched them together the first 2 or 3 seasons. I think all 3, the first
Yeah.
3.
I feel like that it's good to have like a family or a group of people that watch it all
Yeah, for
together.
sure.
You have that
So-
community now. Like
Yeah.
you can theorize together and be
Community.
like, oh, I hate this guy or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you're seeing people's reactions in real time. And then there's that whole accountability component. It's like if you know people are getting together to watch the episodes at a certain time, then
Right.
like,
You can't
Yeah.
we'll
watch
be
it
there.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can look forward to that time. I just
Yeah.
miss looking forward to like, oh crap, it's Sunday.
Sure.
It's a Game of Thrones day.
Yeah. So I would say I think that collectively the biggest fandom is Star Wars because it reaches into everything. There
Yeah,
are
I agree.
movies, there are books, there are TV shows, there are video games, there's comics, there's even
Yeah.
manga, there's merch. It's in theme parks.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Anything you want to do can be
it's
Star Wars.
literally everywhere.
I feel like there's a bigger gap between like the J.J. Abrams like Star Wars reboots and whatever. Like what came before that? Was it Clone Wars?
No, Rebels.
Oh, that's right.
So
And those
yeah.
by themselves had like their own like little niche of like,
Yes,
fandom.
because they're very good, and Dave, who did those, he is now like in creatively in charge of all of Star Wars.
Oh, nice.
That's so
That's
cool.
good.
So,
Better
yeah.
him than JJ.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hardcore pivot on that guy. I feel weird because I loved Lost
I know.
so much.
Oh,
and I really do enjoy the Star Trek movies that he did. I make fun of the third one, but still, I enjoyed it. Like,
Yeah.
it's not as good as the first 2,
Sure.
but yeah, I feel like he either does a really great job or misses the mark by 8 miles.
Yeah. Kind of think it's the Wes Anderson effect. Like he's trying to make a J.J.
Yeah.
Abram product at
Yeah,
this point.
yeah, yeah.
And, like,
Yeah.
don't have to.
Sure.
What made Lost so cool is that it was original. And he did Fringe too, didn't he?
I don't know.
I heard that show was fantastic, and
I did
I
never
never
watched
watched it.
that one. Nope.
Heard it holds up though.
Yeah. What do you think is the most prominent video game fandom?
Oh man.
They're
I feel like
all
that
toxic.
Changes fast. Yeah.
League of Legends is a big one, and it's
Mm-hmm.
just the cesspool of Earth.
Oh.
Any like player versus player fandom is going to be horrifically
like
toxic.
Fortnite, Call of Duty, all
Mm-hmm.
of those are terrible.
They're bad.
My son was not feeling well for weeks. And so he was home from work for a couple days, and I went in to check on him one day. And he does play video games mostly for just fun. And so I heard the TV going on. I knew he wasn't feeling well. I figured he was playing a video. I walked up and I was like, "What are you playing?" He goes, "My farming game."
Oh, that's great. That's perfect for what you're saying.
That is perfect. Gotta guess it's Stardew Valley.
That one is no, it's not. It's like you actually have like a farming
simulator.
Yes,
That's awesome.
I love that game.
for the PlayStation.
So good.
That
I've got the
sounds
first
great.
two.
He got his tractor with the hay baler stuck in the Quonset hut. I was like, "What are you gonna do?" And he goes, "I don't know. Leave me alone."
Oh, God.
Terrible.
Such a stressful game to play when you're sick.
Apparently.
I love
my
all.
gosh.
I love the recent surge of all of these like hardcore simulator games, like
Yeah.
Farming Simulator, Power Wash
Power Wash
Simulator.
Simulator.
I played so much.
Yeah.
House Flipper.
Oh yeah.
House Flipper is one of my favorite.
Goat Simulator.
That's like tongue in cheek.
It is. It's like not really good.
It's a
at
goat
all.
simulator, but you can do anything.
There's no
that you could
physics.
dream of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like Undertale's a really big one.
yeah,
Fandom.
for like niche indie games.
It got huge.
It did.
Yeah.
But like, for a while, yeah, that was probably the biggest like indie.
But probably not anymore.
Yeah,
Animal Crossing is really big. The
True.
Sims.
just
I was
Mario in
thinking, I
general.
was just gonna say Mario
Yeah.
was the one that came to mind first for me.
That's
Yeah.
probably it still.
Like then you have like the Smash Brothers fandoms and yeah, because the thing about Smash Brothers is it brings in people from all other fandoms
That's
because
true.
there's like
It's every-
overlap.
Other characters,
Yeah.
yeah.
But then you've got like GTA,
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto, and
Oh yeah.
there's so
And,
many.
well, there are some ones that have been out for a long time too, like Assassin's Creed
Yeah.
has multiple, and The Witcher,
True, huge
so
fandoms there.
multiple versions and episodes, and yeah.
And The
The
Witcher
Last
is.
of Us got big.
Oh yeah, that's true. And like same with The Witcher. There's like the show component.
Yep.
The Witcher has books.
Castlevania has a show that's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, too many. And there's so many of them are just beyond toxic.
Yeah.
That's why I like my little baseball simulator.
Yeah.
Because like
Sure.
we all know what we're doing.
Yeah.
We all know that we don't tell people what we do in our spare time.
There you go. Yeah, I guess because video games invite interaction.
Yeah, I think so.
And it still feels anonymous.
I didn't write this down at all, but what about the just absolutely insane K-pop fandom that's has gotten people
That
like
is the worst.
killed?
It literally has gotten people
It gotten
killed.
people deported.
It is
Wild.
because it is full of stalking and doxing and
Yeah. But I don't understand any of it.
I mean the
It's
K-pop
just-
industry breeds it. It's like on purpose. They want you to
They want the drama.
Yes.
And I feel
100%.
like K-pop stars are bred is maybe a weird word, but
But
they're
kind of.
created in order for the K-pop community to feel like, well,
Yeah.
they belong to
We
us.
own
We
you.
own them.
Sure.
They do because
Yeah.
they recruit these kids usually at very young, like between like 11 and 14, and then they go to
So
a
young.
special school where it's the school of that company, and that's where they get like their tutoring and their classes for singing, dancing, rapping, whatever. They're like slotted into that role, and like one of the roles is even just like face, like you're just pretty. You're not gonna sing or dance or anything. You're just gonna be on stage, and yeah, you go through this school, and you might get chosen. And you might not. And they even make TV shows about like choosing the people. And
These
it's
are
like
like children.
15-year-old kids sobbing because they have just spent the last 10 years or whatever training, and then they don't get chosen.
That sounds
and then
like
they're
a
let
very
out of their
fun
contract.
thing to watch, though.
I do watch them,
hate
but
it.
they're so sad. Yeah, so it is like you watch them through their training and everything, and then they're put on a show, and the contracts are crazy. They can't go to
Yeah.
like certain bars. They can't do anything. Like they have like dating clauses. Like I
Yeah.
don't know.
Because if they see you at like a rundown bar, that changes the image.
Sure,
entirely.
sure.
Yeah, people have gotten let out of their contracts for going to the wrong bar.
It's insane.
Yeah.
When you say school, is there like a... Is this where they're
Is there
getting,
an
like-
educational
Yeah.
component to this
Or
as
did they
well?
have two schools?
In theory, they have tutors.
Okay.
So they're basically homeschooled by tutors. There's
Okay.
dormitories for a lot of them. They don't all live in the dormitory if they're close. And they scout kids in like grocery stores.
Yeah, it's predatory.
It is. It is.
The whole
But people
thing seems
apply from them.
predatory.
Yeah.
It does.
Yes,
Like-
it is extremely.
It's kind of like the Twilight fandom, where like you would see like women in their 40s and 50s just like
Ugh.
lusting after Taylor Lautner.
And he was like
He's young.
17.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's gross.
Oh,
It's like grooming.
that's like the type of fandom that always like weirds me out.
Yeah, for
People
sure.
are treating these human beings like they are something to just
Like
like,
they own
ogle.
them. Again, the
Yeah.
entitlement.
Yeah. It's like
Bad.
the Beatles.
Well, that's blurring the line between fiction and reality as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like this person is not the actual character.
Yeah, they are
Right.
playing, and a lot of them have stage
Exactly.
names.
Yeah.
And stuff, and yeah. But they have like, especially in K-pop, they have like apps where you can pay money to have them text you back.
Oh my goodness.
But they're not required to do that. Like you pay money, but it might
They
just
don't have to.
Maybe
don't-
we'll take
yes.
it. Yeah.
Oh, God.
And
Oh, my
it's just a
word.
big group chat with you and the other people. And usually they'll respond in that group chat, but they might text you personally.
Oh,
And
Goodness
it's
gracious.
just
If you pay enough
disgusting.
money.
It's called Bubble.
oh, terrible.
Yeah, it's bad.
Well, like that's a more like predatory and invasive version of Cameo.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I kind of understand Cameo. I don't I feel like they're
Yeah.
preying on people that will just give all of their money because they have this like actual
Obsession.
diagnosable like mental illness with
Yes.
obsession,
Yes.
and they just prey on them.
Yeah.
That's the darker side of fandom.
Yeah.
Don't think
K-pop
so.
is quite toxic.
Are there any other music fandoms that are similar?
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift
yeah.
is kind of crazy.
Well, if you have like a name for your fandom,
Or even,
like, it's a big fandom.
or the, Beyonce's fandom.
Mm-hmm.
And, there are quite a few of them out there.
yeah, like YouTubers have fandoms.
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
With like dedicated names for the fans. Yeah. Scary.
Yeah, a little bit.
I feel like any fandoms that prey on children are scary.
Definitely.
I feel like the psychology behind fandoms is really interesting. Like, what is it about, and don't take this the wrong way, but what is it about your life that wants you to be so invested in someone else
Right.
or
Yeah.
something else?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That it
Yeah.
actually becomes like part of your personality
Right,
and who you
yeah.
are.
Just
Yeah.
needing
Is
an
it
identity.
is it escapism? Like,
Yeah.
what is it?
Yeah.
Probably a combination.
Yeah.
But then on top of that, since there's the whole like social element, it's like you have to like shape your personality a certain way or you're
But
not
it's
going to
not
be let
a
in.
positive social element
Oh,
either. It's a negative
bad.
social element,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
if you're reaching out and you're looking for kind of escapism, you're escaping into a negative space
Yeah.
instead of a positive space.
Right. Place where you think you're going to be like brought in like family.
Right.
But there are all of these like little pieces of criteria that are unhealthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I like Supernatural, but I'm not going to pay $1,000 to go get a picture taken with one of the actors from Supernatural.
Nope.
Like,
Well, so many people
And you-
would though.
no.
Yeah. Could not pay me to engage with that fandom either.
Yeah.
Is Supernatural pretty toxic?
It's not as bad as
No, it's not
but
as bad. They're just,
A lot of it is just not to my personal taste.
Yeah,
Sure.
I
same.
would say. Yeah.
but you still enjoy the show
Very
immensely.
much. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I even think
So-
the actors are funny people
Yeah.
in real life, but I don't really
Yeah.
follow them anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But on the spectrum of fandoms, I guess having one that's not inherently toxic,
Yeah.
totally fine.
Yeah. Yeah. There's good and bad in all of them. Just some are.
We'll see what happens with the
mostly
Buffy
bad.
fandom
That's gonna be
Yeah.
interesting.
once the reboot gets off the ground. It sounds like it is off the ground, but
That's- yeah.
once it starts moving forward,
I feel like it won't be quite as toxic because
Maybe not.
like the original.
because we're all grown up now,
what I
and
was-
Yeah, we're grown up.
we know how to
and,
behave
like,
ourselves.
It'll depend if they like do the Riverdale thing where they're appealing to teens, which I'm guessing they won't.
I'm gonna guess
Yeah.
not either
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
the original cast.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't even know
So
that.
yeah,
didn't know that either.
Yeah,
That's
it's
amazing.
the original cast.
Okay.
So it should be good.
Yeah, I
hope
would
so.
think so.
Yeah. And I feel like the original Buffy was very like inclusive and progressive.
I think so too, which is interesting considering what we found out about the show afterward.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess the showrunners, I should say, and a couple of the actors.
I feel like
So-
in the last few years, it's become obvious that anytime a showrunner says, I'm very, very pro strong
Mm-hmm.
woman, I'm a feminist,
Oh my gosh.
you're doing some pretty rough stuff behind
Neil
doors.
Gaiman.
Yeah,
Neil Gaiman was a huge one,
That was really, really
who
upsetting.
also has his own fandom.
that was
true.
that one broke my heart.
That was so
I'm
sad
not gonna
'cause
lie.
Out of left field completely, I
Those
feel like.
books are so good.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
devastating.
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah.
Like one of the biggest fantasy authors ever, I
Mm-hmm.
would say.
Extremely talented. So that is just sad.
Yeah. And he's one of those guys that, like, there's TV shows and books and all
Yeah.
of these other pieces of media built around him. Like, he had his own, like, podcast, didn't he? That was a fictionalized podcast.
I didn't know that.
I
Interesting.
forget what it's like. Night Vale? Was he part of
Night
the?
Vale is
remember.
Is a Gaiman thing?
Maybe not, but I had a conversation with somebody about Neil Gaiman and it went that direction. So maybe I'm just
It might be.
conflating
I don't know
details in
much
my
about
head.
it.
But
I just know Night Vale is huge. Like one of the biggest fictional podcast fandom things. Yeah.
and so, like, when something like that happens, what happens to the fandom?
Right.
Like
a lot of people leave,
Yeah.
no longer engage with it. But I think more people maybe decide to engage quietly, which
Yeah.
is kind of like with like the Harry Potter fandom. That's kind of what I did when J.K. Rowling fell apart. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm gonna kind of step back and still consume the content that I like,
Right.
but maybe not,
Yeah.
keep up as much.
I feel like sometimes when stuff like that happens, it brings more people into that group that are like
Yeah, for
True.
sure.
Drama.
usurping the original fans of the series, and now like people are liking it for the wrong reason.
True.
Like people that now love her based on what they saw on social media, so now they're
Sure.
Harry Potter fans.
And those people would hate like the actual stuff that's in Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah, they
Right.
don't need to read
Right.
it.
It's so confusing
Right.
to me still.
Yeah.
I don't understand her.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. Yeah.
I feel like more progressive fandoms do fall apart with something like Joss Whedon or Neil Gaiman comes out. But like Steven Crowder didn't lose a whole lot of his audience. Like that is a fandom.
That's so horrifying to think about that as a fandom, but yeah.
Yeah, didn't really make too much of a dent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's about all I got.
Yeah.
I have some fan fiction-y stuff.
Yes,
Do
please.
you guys read fan fiction? Do you write fan fiction? Role-playing like you did online is kind of writing fan fiction.
I was gonna say I
Yeah,
wrote
for
a
sure.
lot of Buffy fan
That's
fiction when I was in my
awesome.
teens.
It's
All from the
fun.
point of view of Spike, because
You
James
identified
Marsters,
with him?
Sure.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
very handsome feller.
Yes. Yeah. Cool. Brittany?
No, I have not. I have read some fan fiction. I have not written any. But I do feel like the people that do are, some of them are extremely talented.
Yes. Runs the gamut.
It does. It does. And so I would never, ever bash a fanfic author.
Yeah.
Because I think they're having fun. I think they're
Yes.
very talented, some of them. And yeah.
Even if it's something that I don't necessarily think is that well written, I'm like, they're, like you said,
They're
having
engaging
fun.
with the material and
And they're creating community, sometimes
for sure.
positively, sometimes negatively.
Yeah.
Well, it's so hard to put yourself out there like creatively like that. Like I'm going to write something about the thing that you love. Like you're putting yourself up to get bullied depending on the community.
Yes,
Like,
and it can be really
and like
bad.
how well of a writer you are, because there is some authors that get relentlessly bullied
Sure.
Yeah.
for like not writing what other people want to read.
Yes. Which go write your own fanfic.
Right.
Yeah,
no
right,
one's
exactly.
stopping
And I'm sure they do, but then they're afraid of getting bullied online, so then they
Yes.
just keep it to
Because they can't
themselves.
take it.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of books that, and we've talked about this maybe before, like started as fan fiction, like The Love Hypothesis, 50 Shades of Grey, City of Bones was a Harry Potter fanfic. There's one I never heard of called Point Pleasant by Jen Archer Wood. It's based on supernatural fan fiction. I kind of want to
interesting.
read
Oh,
it.
interesting.
Yeah, right.
I'm surprised that
Like
you
a-
haven't heard of that before.
I know. It's
honestly.
like a paranormal romancy kind of thing. Sounds interesting.
Yeah.
The Hurricane Wars that just came out and we got it is based
Really?
on a Raylo fic.
I didn't know
Me
that.
neither.
Huh.
It's like makes me want to read it too.
Yeah, interesting.
One that's interesting is the Rainbow Rowell's Carry On, like Fangirl series, because Fangirl came first, which I haven't read that one, but it has the character writes basically Harry Potter Draco fanfic, but then the author wrote the fanfic and made it into like I think there's 3 or 4 books now, and those are really good. Those are great.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, it's like kind of meta fanfic.
Yeah. I thought I read Fangirl and I liked it a lot because I thought the fact that there's fan fiction incorporated throughout, and it was fan fiction that she was writing,
Yeah.
but there's
Yeah.
like a story
It's
on
so
top of
cool.
it. Like I've
Yeah.
never read anything
No,
like that before.
you should
Very
read
cool.
Carry On.
Like I want
Yeah.
to.
I mean, I think you get more out of it if you have read Harry Potter, but it's still a good story.
And
I like it.
I read Harry Potter 1.
There you go.
It's a start.
It's a start.
Sorcerer's Stone.
Max
Sorcerer's
has
Stone.
read more of Harry Potter than you have.
Like
Not surprised. He's
Max
a
has
great
read
reader.
everything.
Max-
Max
yeah.
is such a good reader.
He's a fantastic. He's writing his own books.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm helping him with the artwork.
That's so cool.
This is a 4th grader we know that and love.
Yes, he's
He's
wonderful.
the sweetest kid.
Delightful. There's some stuff that I wouldn't have thought of as fan fiction, like the Song of Achilles is like Iliad fan fiction.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like there's a ton of like
Yeah.
you guys know Esther Friesner? She writes like Nobody's Princess, Nobody's Prize, which is like about Nefertiti.
Okay.
And she does like a whole bunch. She has a series where like one is about like a Chinese shaman from a long time ago named Himiko. Like they're all based on real people, so it's kind of like they call it real people fiction, but it's still like fan fiction.
Interesting.
It's interesting.
Yeah. And like the Jack the Ripper series is kind of like that too. So like
What
historical.
is the Jack the Ripper series?
We talked about it before. There's like Stalking Jack the Ripper.
Carrie Maniscalco, the YA series.
Okay.
Yeah.
So some people are arguing like you can consider that fan fiction because it's, but it's like it's kind of just
But,
historical fiction.
but Jack
Yeah.
the Ripper's not actually even in it.
Oh, I don't know. I
So,
haven't read it.
okay.
Maybe I'm combining another series.
No, you're right. It is Stalking Jack the Ripper, and there's one about hunting Dracula.
Okay, yeah.
But those characters, like the literary characters, never actually
Interesting.
appear. They're just based on situations surrounding
So
that.
feels like a stretch maybe to call that. fan.
Yes, I would say
Yeah.
so.
That's interesting.
It's fascinating.
That is a really interesting series of books. I think there's 4 of them.
They look cool.
that
do
I
really wanna
enjoyed
them.
reading. But like Jack the Ripper never actually is in the
Interesting.
books,
Okay.
and Dracula's never actually in the book.
Just the kind of setting.
Yes, yeah. Kind of like the idea of Dracula is there.
Yes.
So
Dracula
yeah.
as a concept.
So is like Jack the Ripper actually exist within the world? Is he mentioned? He just
there
doesn't
is a
exist.
series of murders going on, but it's not actually Jack the Ripper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a fictionalized version of like that period in
Sure.
time.
Yep.
That's
Fun.
it. You brought up the Iliad,
Yes.
which there have been so many things based on the Iliad and just
Yeah.
like Homer in general. that
And a
I-
new movie on the Odyssey coming out that Christopher Nolan is directing.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I heard
that's
about
cool.
that.
Yeah.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah.
One thing,
Great cast.
One that I didn't know was "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" by the Coen Brothers. That was
The Odyssey.
Iliad, yeah, or the Odyssey, yeah.
Yeah, both of those have made like I have on here the first like some people consider the first known fanfic to be Virgil's Aeneid. Because it's adapting the Iliad and the Odyssey.
Oh,
Yeah, apparently.
when was that written?
19 BC.
The Aeneid is the
That's
one that
so
actually recounts the Trojan War. The Iliad
yeah.
and the Odyssey do not.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay,
So he's like, well, let me take this and continue
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
fascinating.
Apparently, Romeo and Juliet was based on a poem by Arthur Brooke called "The Tragic History of Romeus and Juliet."
Really?
Kind of fan fiction of that.
Like you
Interesting.
just took the name.
Oh, and
That
changed-
makes it
took a
even
little
more
different.
interesting with the theory that Shakespeare wasn't actually Shakespeare.
Yes, it is interesting,
That
right?
is.
And there was a few
Yeah.
other of his plays that were like adapted from other stuff too, which is
Expand on that. What do you mean by?
Well, there are people out there that say Shakespeare wasn't actually a person. That Shakespeare was nom de plume, and that he wasn't actually.
him,
Yeah.
Okay,
or that he was maybe even a collective of
Yeah.
writers.
interesting. They had
There
that
was a
portrait of him.
William Shakespeare.
Yeah.
That one portrait.
Yeah, the one we all have seen, the only one.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. He existed as a person, but he might not have been the writer.
Sure. Okay.
Is the theory. I don't know if I buy it.
But
I'm not sure I
it's
do either,
fascinating,
but
though.
it's interesting
But
to
that
think about.
that would lend some interesting kind of depth to that argument.
Because the real Shakespeare wasn't very well educated.
Right.
So would he know this poem necessarily?
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, I don't understand a word of what he writes, so he couldn't be that educated. It's one of those
He made
things
up a
that
lot of words.
he did. I still call people a churlish Applejawn.
So good.
His insults are
poems or his
beyond
plays,
anything.
They're fantastic.
And that's one of those things that sucks too, because it's not like we can ever like uncover some document that's like I
Right.
never existed.
Right.
Right.
We'll never
Yeah.
know.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But again, fandom, fun to explore. Like
Yeah,
Shakespeare's got
Shakespeare
his
fandom.
own. Yeah.
He definitely does.
Mm-hmm.
The crazy fandom.
Yeah.
Great movies.
Yeah.
And then in 1998, fanfiction.net launched, and then Wattpad in 2006, and Archive of Our Own in 2009. And those are like the biggest three, I would say.
Do the other two still exist?
They do.
They do.
Okay.
Fanfiction.net was the biggest for a very long time, but they purged a ton of fiction or fan fictions, like something like 80%
Why?
of what's been posted. Well, because there was a lot of backlash over slash fiction, which is just like romantic pairings, like Buffy slash whatever.
Okay.
I forget. They purged a lot of that. Anything that was explicit, they purged.
Oh, that's a lot of fan
That's a
fiction.
lot. That's a lot of it. So that all was gone. And people still use fanfiction.net, but much less than they used to
Yeah.
because of that. And because there's fear that it could happen again.
Right.
And all that stuff was just gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wattpad is not as big and not taken as seriously, I would say. It's like more middle schooler.
Okay.
It's like mostly like One Direction-y.
Oh, fun.
I read a lot of funny Shrek fan fiction on there.
Oh, yeah.
It's more of just like trolling kind of.
Okay.
It's just like, I mean, not that people don't post really good stuff on Wattpad.
No, and there
still.
have been a couple of authors that got picked up off of Wattpad.
Yeah, that happens.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not. I think Archive of Our Own is kind of considered like the best one.
Yeah.
And part of that is because their UI is fantastic. Like you can search like so specifically, like include these things, exclude these things, and like this page count or whatever. I don't know. You can just do a lot. The tagging system is very good.
And way less censored.
Yeah.
Almost to a fault.
Yes,
but like
and no.
whatever.
They will take down anything. Their moderation is good. Like they will
That's
take
good.
down any harassment or you're not allowed to post anything that links off to a place that you're trying to make money.
Okay.
Like to your own like Tumblr or anything like that. They are really strict on like you have to be posting a transformative work. You can't be posting something that you've stolen. They will take that down very quickly. Or like placeholder fix where it's like I'm gonna write this and it's just nonsense. They take stuff like that down. So that's nice because Wattpad does not do that. There's a lot you gotta slog
Sift
through.
through. Yeah.
I have some trivia. You guys wanna guess?
Trivia.
Yes. Okay. Which of these authors was a co-founder of Archive of Our Own? There's T. Kingfisher, Naomi Novik, Alex E. Harrow, or Sylvia Moreno Garcia.
Who was the second one you said?
Naomi Novik.
I think Naomi Novik.
I'll go with that as well.
It is Naomi Novik. How'd you know?
Because they seem more that type of author than the others.
Yeah. I thought that was cool. I just read some of her stuff. She's good. Yeah.
That's surprising.
Yeah. I didn't know that there was anybody involved in it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did she start off with fan fiction too or no?
I think so. But I don't think
Okay.
any of her published books have been like linked to a particular
Yeah, she does a lot of
fiction.
like fairy tale retellings.
Yes.
Okay.
Which
So
she's
kind of in
Which
the
is
same like
same
yeah.
kind of the same
Yeah.
vein. Yeah.
That's cool.
Really well done. How long is the longest known fan fiction?
Oh my
Do you have
word.
a guess about? Like,
Can you
maybe
give us
word
can you
count?
give us an idea of the topic?
Yes, kind of.
Okay.
The longest known fan fiction is
Like, what's the source
it started
material?
it started as a Super Smash Bros. Fic.
Oh.
This is the longest.
This is how many words it is?
And it's hard to get an accurate count because they are writing it every day.
Oh
my
So it's still
goodness.
going.
It's still going. So the count that I
Oh.
have is maybe like a year or so old. No one is
Okay.
really keeping up.
Oh,
How
geez.
long has it been going for?
I didn't write the year down. Let me
Okay.
look it up. I'll find out.
Like I don't know. I don't even know how to ballpark it.
I know.
'Cause it's probably a
It's
ridiculously
in the
high number.
millions.
It's
of
in the
words.
millions?
It's longer than
How
like,
is the database
Oh my
have
God.
enough room
it
for it?
doesn't. It has had to be moved to like multiple hosting places.
Oh my
Good God.
goodness.
It's absurd. That's why it's really hard to track.
Is there a narrative, or is it just like
Not really.
different fights?
oh my word.
I'll say more. Do you want me to just tell you guys?
I was gonna say 1.5 million.
I was
but-
going to say 3.7.
It's 33 million
Oh
words.
my God.
I have just died.
It's
Oh.
so it's called The Loud House Revamped.
Oh my word.
I don't know when it started.
How many people are contributing to this fan fiction?
One person.
Oh my.
Well, do they
stars.
do anything else?
No.
I don't think so. Oh, I don't want to see the condition of their room.
Apparently, a lot of it is copy pasted descriptions of like battles and stuff like that.
Okay.
And like The Loud House is a TV show, like a children's TV show. So I think
Yeah.
it must have, and maybe it's about that now. I don't really know.
Just like
Wow.
switched what it was about at
Apparently.
word 5 million.
I think it includes a ton of different fandoms at this point. It's
Wow.
apparently basically unreadable.
Yeah, it sounds like it would have to
Yeah.
be.
I couldn't get like a solid answer on like what the next one was, like what the longest like serious one was. I'm not sure.
My God.
I saw like maybe 12 million words. I don't know.
I've written some short fiction that
is
I
a
give
lot
up
of
on
words.
after like
It's a lot of
500 words.
But if you're copy pasting and doing it every day,
So just for reference, readers, the average like fiction title is about 110,000 words.
that's insane.
Between 110 and
Jeez.
130 based
Yeah.
on the genre.
Okay,
How many words do you think James Patterson has in print?
probably less than 33 million.
I'm gonna guess so.
No, that's a
And he's only written 50% of that, maybe.
maybe 30.
Yeah, true. Very true. Even if you're counting all of the ghost-written stuff,
Yeah.
still nowhere
Yeah.
near.
I don't think so. That's
Nowhere near that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yikes. Now I
Yeah.
want to look it up.
No, you don't.
I don't.
Like I
You will go down that rabbit hole and you
Oh.
will die there.
Yeah.
probably.
I'm guessing maybe
gotta die someday.
the first few 100,000 words, maybe there's actually a story, and then
I hate that
Yeah.
sentence. That stresses me out so much. That's kind of like, well, if you look up, you can see the moon. And then the rest of space scares me.
Yeah,
the rest
I
of what
know,
is
pretty
included in
much.
this
Right.
Yeah.
cannot be good.
There's some good fanfics that are book length or like longer than some really popular series that are actually very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have an example?
I'm off the top of my head. I'm not sure. There's a lot. The series that I like that is terrible, the Foxhole Court series, has fantastic fan fiction. Like
Better than the source material.
and some of them are longer than the source material. And I've read just like full length books on AO3 that are based on those that are.
There
really
are
good.
two that were first posted on AO3 and have been now pulled because they are being rewritten for actual publication. Both of them are Harry Potter based fanfics.
Yeah.
One is by Julie Soto, who is already a published author.
Oh, that's cool.
That is very
Exciting.
cool.
And I cannot remember the actual name of the other one because she used a pen name.
Okay.
They're both Hermione Draco stories.
I do like Hermione Draco.
But it's been picked up by traditional publishing. So not even just independent publishers.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
exciting.
So-
that's cool.
What was the like copyright legality of
They have
such a
to
thing?
be, so the characters are like obviously renamed
Sure.
and the story is restructured so as to not reflect any
Yeah.
Okay.
identifying things
you're-
from actual Harry Potter. But
Sure.
You're not supposed to be able to tell.
yeah, the core of
Okay.
the narrative is still there.
Like you're supposed to be able to tell, but like not at the
Yes.
same time,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yes.
Okay.
Which that's been going on forever. So
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Just like in the publishing world, I was curious how like that
Yeah.
functions.
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
bums me out that they, I think, always take down the original fanfic as
They
far as I know.
both of these have been taken
Yeah.
down, but it was like everywhere. If you want to read this before it disappears, you have to read it by
That's
X date because this is the date it
Yeah.
leaves.
Wow, wow.
So
Yeah, it makes sense that they take it down. Because
Yeah.
if they're publishing it, they wouldn't want a version of it to exist somewhere
Right.
else.
True.
Yeah.
And one that you
although there are hundreds of AO3 users who have downloaded
I'm
it,
sure.
and now it exists in PDF form on
100%.
many
Yes.
many personal
Yeah.
desktop computers and
I'm sure
tablets.
if you go to the fanfic subreddit, you can ask for it. And,
Probably.
like somebody will give you a Dropbox
Yeah.
link.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Which is cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I have some of the most popular fandoms by group based on how many fanfictions have been written.
Interesting.
The overall one, do you guys want to guess? It's kind of hard. It's kind of a tricky one to guess,
Ooh.
I think. Most popular category on AO3.
Like source material category.
Source material, but it's kind of a trick question.
Yeah, I don't want to put
I
myself
think I'll
out
just
there.
say it because it doesn't make the. Do you want me to just say it?
Sure.
Okay. So the overall most popular category is real people fiction. So like the source material is not like a source. Like
It's like
that would include like
Teddy Roosevelt and Susan B. Anthony.
it would be like there's a lot of like ones about like Jared Padalecki and Jensen.
Gotcha.
Apples,
So
stuff
yes,
like that.
okay,
So
all right,
yes,
yeah,
real people
all right.
fiction. Weirdly, the hockey real people fiction is a huge.
That is
Interesting.
also a big
Yes.
thing in many
Sports
types of
Yeah.
And K-pop is included in that. So that's
surprising.
yeah.
Okay.
Anime and manga.
Okay.
You have a guess? It's something you guys have heard of. We have it in the library.
We do.
We do.
Huh. Anime and manga.
Like Attack the Titans,
No. That's probably up there, I bet, though.
Cowboy Bebop.
No.
No,
Do
hold
we
on.
have Cowboy Bebop?
We don't.
No, tragically.
Is it based on book source? So book source material or
This one has an anime and a manga.
Okay.
Sailor Moon.
No, I want to say
I bet that has a lot, though.
not Bleach, but the other one. Is it One Piece?
No, but it's surprising. I thought One Piece might be it because that's
Okay.
been going on for so long. It's My Hero Academia.
Okay.
I almost said that.
That has a fanatic fan base.
I was gonna say
Shocker.
I've heard that fan base is super horrid.
awful.
Okay, all right.
I love My Hero Academia, the manga and the anime.
Yeah, okay.
And I do read some My Hero fanfic, but it is rough.
Oh.
It's very
Okay.
part of the problem is that most of the characters are children, and people
Sure. Yeah.
do not treat them like children in
Yeah.
the fan fiction, and that's
Yeah.
Pretty rough.
yeah, it is rough.
Yeah.
It's like some of the home improvement fan fiction that I wrote. Did not know it was going to take the directions that it took.
Interesting, but
Yeah.
they're adults.
Well, not
Okay.
not the children.
Oh, why are you writing that?
I didn't write it. I
You said-
read.
Oh, I
like
thought you said
Oh no.
home improvement
Oh
fan
no.
fiction you wrote.
No,
I was like,
let's delete
hang
it.
on.
Get rid of it.
Okay. Yeah. All right. We've hit a new low. Home improvement fanfic.
Unintentionally.
a
so.
bunch. Books and literature.
Books. Harry Potter.
It's Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I was gonna say. Yeah.
I thought Harry Potter might be the number one. Oh, I can tell you the numbers. Do you guys want the numbers?
Yeah.
So, real people fiction, there's 739,649 works.
Wow.
Yes.
Lord.
My Hero, which that includes like K-pop and stuff, so that makes sense to me.
Sure.
My Hero, there's 330,296. And Harry Potter, there's 520,024.
Wow.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And this is all from like all websites, source material. That they
Is
can
this
find?
from Archive of Our Own?
Okay, so
Yes.
specifically just from.
Specifically,
Okay.
which that's
Okay.
where that has the most fan fictions.
Sure.
It used to be fanfiction.net, but since they've purged so much,
Right.
they have significantly less.
Sure.
Yeah. Movies. It's not one movie. It's a fandom.
Is it going to be like Lord of the Rings that also has like book?
I think it's going to be Marvel.
It's Marvel.
Is it?
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Well
Marvel.
done.
There's 523,168. So
Everyone
more than
has an
Harry Potter.
opinion about what those characters should be doing.
Like I
So,
don't watch them, and I've seen.
There's so many characters. Too.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
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 Music and bands. It's not one band. It's a type of music. I kind of was. Once I saw it, I was not surprised, but I wasn't expecting this to be its own category.
But it's not the K-pop one.
It is K-pop.
Oh, it is.
It's
Okay.
wow.
The
All right.
K-pop is its own category. 692,880.
Jeez.
It's the second
My
highest.
goodness gracious.
It's insane.
Huge. K-pop is scary.
Okay, I would like to know how many minutes that accounts for.
Oh, too
like,
many.
what could we have accomplished
of lives.
globally if these people had put their time and energy into,
A lot of them are children. If that makes
curing
Like,
cancer? How many more would have passed their classes?
Right.
Yes. Learned a hobby. Yeah. Gotten a job.
Oh my goodness.
But I think the opposite. Like, how many Hitlers have we stopped because they have gotten so into Harry Potter fan
They're
fiction?
taking all this negative energy and directing it towards like
right, all
gymming.
right. Fair. That makes me feel better about the situation, actually.
Oh my gosh.
If he was part of the Listomania,
Yeah, true.
Europe would be different.
That's probably very true. TV. Oh no, I skipped theater. It's one play.
Hamilton. Ugh.
I was surprised. I thought it might be Hamilton. It's older.
One play. It's older.
Rent.
And then there's also a book.
Oh, what's the?
It's not Rent.
No. So the ones with the sharks and the. You know what I mean?
Sharks.
I don't know.
Um,
The Katy Perry halftime shows. That makes me think of.
Oh, God. Best
it's the
halftime.
one with the gangs, the sharks and the.
the
West Side Story.
West Side
West Side
Story.
Story.
It's not.
Okay.
There's the original source material is a book that is older, I think, than that.
Book that is older.
Death of a Salesman.
Nope.
That wouldn't make any sense for that to be the
Streetcar
number
Named
one.
Desire.
No. It's Les Mis.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Les Mis fanfic has to
Yeah.
be the most boring
Good God.
fanfic that ever was created.
There's
Oh my goodness.
23,590.
Really?
Yeah. Good Lord.
Yeah. So
There's
much less than theater.
There's a trilogy, a YA trilogy that is a retelling of Les Mis in space.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. It's called The System Divine.
Okay.
And those books are
Oh my God.
huge.
Jeez.
Hard to do that in YA. And
Yeah.
Get people to read it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'd like to see what Jean Valjean is up to up there
Yeah.
or out there.
Out there. TV shows. It's something that we've already heard.
That we've already talked about today.
Yes.
So not The Walking Dead.
Nope.
Game of Thrones,
Nope. It's not one specific show. It's a whole.
Star Trek.
Nope.
Star Wars.
Nope.
That's all we talked about.
No, we talked about more.
Huh.
Supernatural.
No, I wish. There's a lot. Supernatural is a lot. It's Marvel.
Oh, Marvel
Oh,
again.
Marvel again.
Oh,
Yeah, so I
interesting.
wonder how those numbers
There
are.
aren't that many Marvel. I mean, there are Marvel TV shows, but that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think possibly this might be a case of like things that are more based on movies or comics getting tagged as TV shows too,
Oh, maybe.
so that people will
That makes
see
sense.
it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because there's 648,074,
That's
which
a
is
lot.
more that are under the movies category. So
I wonder if also because there are some
accurate.
DC shows too, so I wonder if the
True.
DC shows are
True.
also
They might
getting
just get it
tagged.
tagged, yeah.
Huh, interesting.
And the last one is video games. It's a game
Smash
that
Brothers, because I thought that one would take it over the edge.
that one's not on AO3.
That's fair.
And it's the number of works.
Fair.
Yeah.
So I guess it would just be
That would just only count as one, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Video games.
It's not one that I would have guessed.
Is it
Halo.
No.
that's a good guess though.
That is a good guess. There's a lot of Halo fic.
Is this kind of along the same lines, like a really big IP?
I don't know if
So
there's
Final
more
Fantasy?
than one game. No. I think there's maybe, I don't know.
Can you give us
it's a
the
little
number?
older. Yes. 198,273.
I don't know.
I'll look up
I would
when
read
it came
Uncharted fanfic though, just
Yeah.
FYI.
Yeah, well, it's great, well-written games.
Wish I knew more about the game.
Was it what genre of game is it?
I don't know.
Fair
I'm looking
enough.
it up right now. So it's a action role-playing game. Apparently, it says it came out in 2020. Oh, so I'm really wrong about that.
Action role
I thought it had existed for a long time.
It's not Baldur's Gate.
No. that would
Great
be
game
cool.
though.
I know. I have students that's all they talk about is Baldur's Gate.
I get it. Third one's perfect.
I can just tell you guys. I feel like we're not going to get there. It's Genshin Impact.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
wouldn't have
what
gotten that
is.
one.
No, I don't know
No.
anything about it. I've heard of it, but
Yeah.
I don't know anything. Another thing is, so AO3 works on tags. So yeah, like basically hashtags of like what is in the fic. These are the biggest tags. The first one was alternate universe,
Oh.
Okay.
which I was surprised by, but that is a big thing, like coffee shop AU or
Yeah,
like
okay.
mafia AU, angst, which I
Yes.
like that.
Without angst, it's not a good story.
Yeah, like I love seeing the angst tag. Like there's gonna be stress. Fluff, which is just like it's like sweet. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's yeah,
This won't give you angst.
exactly.
It's,
Hurt/comfort is one tag, and that just means like it's gonna be bad and then it'll be good.
okay.
Yeah,
Positive resolution.
yeah. Relationship or relationships. That's in a ton. Romance, and then 2 sexual content and smut, which they just mean the same thing.
Sure.
And violence.
Are
Those
are
the
these
top
in
ones.
order?
They're not in order because they don't list them in order. It's like a Wordle. Well, not a Wordle. What are those graphs?
Yeah.
where the words
Yep.
are bigger.
Oh,
Yep.
like
So-
the name
Yeah.
map thing?
Yep.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
couldn't tell like the number.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just like these were the ones that were the biggest.
More prominent.
Sure.
Yes.
Right. I was
Sure.
gonna say, I would think that romance would be higher
It
than.
was.
Yeah.
It definitely was higher than like violence.
Sure.
Yeah. I think there's probably also a case of like there's different ways to tag for the same thing. And AO3 does try to account for that, like probably romance and like I don't know, relationships or dating, like stuff like that gets like if you look for dating, relationships will also show up, which
Sure.
is nice. I like
Yep.
how they do that.
Yeah.
Yes. The last thing I have is do you guys know the website like Fandom, like Fandom Wiki?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they had their like the most popular TV, movie, and gaming communities over the last 20 years.
Okay.
Which I thought was interesting. And there's a lot of surprises. And I think it's because people don't use the fandom wikis that much.
Yeah.
Like for some places, I think they're
I
really
use the Star
big.
Wars one a lot.
I use the Harry Potter one, and like, but then there's some things that are super popular that I'm like, I've never been to that wiki, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if we need to go all the way back to 2004. Maybe I'll go to like 2015. Then we're like the last 10 years.
Okay.
So 2015, the most popular TV show was Critical Role, which is a YouTube show. Actually,
Oh.
it's like a D&D thing that's been going on.
Oh,
for a while.
ROLL roll.
That's spelled ROLE.
Oh, because it's role playing, but
Okay.
Yeah, it
also
could've been
direct
role-
dice.
Yes.
So,
Oh, good.
all right.
I was surprised, but I was like, "That's cool."
Okay.
The movie was Kingsman.
Huh.
Is that a James Bond thing?
It's a parody, right? It's
Yeah.
got
Ben Kingsley. No.
and
is it-
no Colin Firth.
Yes.
Okay.
That's right.
But I've never seen it.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was-
I think
And I
it's,
know there's
surprised
more
by
than
that.
one.
yeah, I think
okay.
there's 2 or 3, and they're
Yeah.
supposed to be good.
People
Yeah.
loved it in 2015, apparently.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would not have expected that to be like the number one.
No,
though.
No.
that's what I'm saying. Is like I think it's like you're kind of catching a flash in the pan where like
Sure.
maybe a lot of people wanted to know stuff about it, but that doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily mean it's the most popular. I don't know.
There might have been like some huge twist that happened and
Yeah.
people were like flocking there.
Or like and maybe things that are more complicated or complex would have more people going to the wiki.
Sure.
Yeah. The most popular gaming community was Ark Survival Evolved. I don't know what that is.
It's ARK.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's an asynchronous.
Does it have dinosaurs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All
It's
right.
like
That sounds
evolution and
cool.
stuff.
I do
Fun.
know. Yeah.
Okay.
One person is playing like the giant evolving dinosaur, and the
Okay.
other people are trying to kill it.
Oh, that
it's
sounds
like,
cool, actually.
what's that? Asynchronous, asymmetrical.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's kind of like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre
That
game.
is very fun. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. 2016, it was Stranger Things. Not surprised. And the movie was Trolls, which I don't know who's going to the Trolls movie.
Because they want to know which trolls are related to. I've
Oh.
never seen trolls,
Me
but this
either.
would be my guess. There are a lot of trolls, right?
Yeah,
They want to know
there
which
are.
which one is the one with green hair and what's that one too.
That's
and
probably
Most
it.
likely, yeah.
It's like parents helping their kids, probably.
True.
yeah, maybe.
And the game was Escape from Tarkov. Don't
That's
know
like
it.
a online shooter, but it is like rooted in hardcore like militaristic realism.
Cool.
Very toxic
Interesting.
community.
Oh, not surprised. Okay.
I played that game with the winner of Big Brother season 10, Dan Giesling.
That's awesome.
Well, we played with a mic, and so we played several times.
You're like
together.
hanging out.
Fun
That's
fact,
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
Dan Goofball, Detroit native.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. 2017, the TV show was Has Been Hotel, which I remember that being huge. Is that a YouTube show?
I've never heard of it.
I've never heard of it
Okay,
either.
I can't remember if
No.
it's on YouTube or if it was like an online
I don't
thing,
know.
but I don't think
Oh,
it was a
must be.
traditional TV
Okay.
show. But
Interesting.
I've never seen it, but I remember it being huge and there being a ton of fan fiction for it. It's like an animated show,
Okay.
animated horror. I think it looks cool.
Interesting.
The Greatest Showman was the movie. Not
Your
surprised
favorite?
by that. I don't like that movie. I understand why people enjoy it. It's just it's not for me.
I have a hard time with like that whole subject matter.
Yeah,
Just because
same.
of the horrible things that happened.
It,
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah.
all bad. And yeah,
Even as a child, I couldn't watch Dumbo.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
think a lot of it has to do with like just inherently being repelled by that whole.
the
Yeah.
the animal abuse.
Yeah.
the-
Yeah.
they
It's
were
heartbreaking.
abusing people. Like just
Yeah.
The game was Brawl Stars, which that's still really popular. I think.
Yeah. It's just like
It's
a multiplayer game.
mobile game, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. 2018, the TV show was The Boys. I
Oh.
love The
Oh,
Boys.
yeah.
Still want to see it?
Yeah, I haven't caught up. But it was
Misha
good.
Collins and Jared Padalecki are joining the cast
Are
for
they
the new
really?
season.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I gotta get caught up. I'm so behind.
Yeah.
That is such a well done show.
I think that show is it's such a smart show, and the people that show is about, and I'm using my quoting fingers, have no idea that show
No.
is about them.
They do not.
And yeah,
Nice.
That's just the best.
That has been very cleverly done.
Yeah, that's a great show, and I
Yeah.
think they do a good job of like each season is like fresh. They're like kind of doing new stuff. I like that. The TV show or the movie in 2018 was Into the Spider-Verse. Not surprised.
Great movie.
That was great. Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Really good. And the game was Valheim. Valheim.
Sounds
It
Vikingish.
does.
I don't know. That might have been Assassin's Creed.
I don't know. Sounds like it maybe. I don't know. 2019, the TV show was Bridgerton.
Okay.
Makes sense to me.
That
There's a
was
lot
the
of
first season of
characters.
Bridgerton.
Yeah. And the movie was Raya and the Last Dragon.
Aw.
Last Dragon. That was not that good.
It's a
Never saw
survival
it.
game. My
Yeah.
girls really like that one.
Which
Yeah.
one?
Valheim is
Oh.
a survival
Oh.
game.
Interesting.
Okay.
Set in a procedurally generated world inspired by Norse mythology.
Oh,
Cool.
okay. I have heard that. I almost bought it. Yeah, pretty much every gaming YouTuber were like went all in
That makes
on
sense.
that one. It's supposed to be kind of similar to a bunch of other games, but it like perfects a bunch of mechanics.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Forgot about it.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, Bridgerton, Raya, and then Genshin Impact, which we
Yep.
now know.
Oh, yeah.
And then 2020, the TV show was Invincible, which I really want to watch. It's an animated cartoon. It's for adults, but it's kind of in the same vein as The Boys, but different. It's like superhero satire. It's supposed to be really well done. And then the movie community was Sonic Cinematic Universe.
Are you
Is that when that
serious?
movie came out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would have been the first one, right?
I think so.
Huh.
Not
Sonic is huge.
not Dark
at my
Sonic, the
school.
one that just came out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Sonic's
With
having
Keanu
its
Reeves.
day.
God.
And the game was All-Star Tower Defense.
No idea.
No.
Tower defense games were just very big around that time.
Meh. 2021, Yellow Jackets was the show.
It's supposed to be good.
Yeah. I haven't watched it, but I want to.
I heard that first season is like phenomenal, and then it just takes like a quality
Oh, really?
drop.
That's a bummer.
Kind of like a Westworld.
Is it? It's like about a soccer team that gets stranded, right?
I don't know.
Okay. I
don't know either.
I'm not confident in that.
Are they in the Andes?
Maybe. I don't know. The movie was Godzilla versus King Kong, or versus Kong,
Okay.
Okay.
which that was big. And then the
They're
game,
looking into the Godzilla lore, I'm sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
makes sense to me.
Yeah.
yeah, because there's so much history there.
Yeah.
The game was Honkai Star Rail.
Not my forte.
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably another like RPG type game that has like a ton of characters.
Maybe.
that-
Probably.
Yeah.
Then lore. That makes
Right.
sense. 2022, the show was The Traitors. I don't know what that is.
I don't
I
either.
don't either.
Yeah, I don't know. And the movie was Megan.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, Mithrigan.
That was so good. But I
Did
don't
I
know.
just see they're
like,
making a Megan too?
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maforgan. I don't know what they're naming it. I can't remember.
I think it's Megan too.
Megan too. Fine. That was good, but I don't know what you're going to the wiki for.
Yeah.
Because it was a fairly
don't
straightforward
know.
movie.
It's like
Either.
5 characters.
Basically, yeah, and there wasn't like that much. Like it was really funny. Like
Maybe to find out if there was like books or movie
be.
or
Maybe.
games or something like,
Yeah.
or if it,
Yeah.
yeah, huh.
yeah, or maybe they're going for news of a new one. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
If I would, okay, so putting myself in shoes of someone that's not a horror person like myself, like if I went and watched Friday the 13th, which was also pretty straightforward, I might go to the wiki looking up
True.
Jason Voorhees.
And
True.
be like it was their
Yeah.
history with this character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The game was Tales of Tenorio.
I feel like it might be like a cooperative 2-player game.
Interesting.
But I never played it.
Okay. Yeah. 2023, the TV show was Shogun. Not
Hey.
surprised.
Oh, yeah.
Really want to watch that.
Seems
Yeah.
to
Clavel?
Clavel, something
Something like that. Yeah.
I really want to see that show. Like I've seen the
That's a Hulu show,
yeah,
right?
Yep.
It's on, yeah.
Like set designs and costume design, just
Looks really
insane.
Yeah.
And you read the book, right? Mm-hmm. And it was very good.
It was
Yeah.
part of a much bigger series, but I only read the first one.
Interesting. I wonder if they'll adapt. Are they adapting just the first book or the whole series?
Probably
or have
the-
they?
like it was
They've gotta
popular
be
enough.
on what, season 3 now, I think.
wow,
Are
that's
they?
crazy.
Oh,
I think
wow.
yeah, I guess
So-
2020.
Wow,
No, 2023. So they probably are doing season 3 this
Yeah.
year.
it's crazy.
And I know it won a bunch of awards the last season. So
Cool. Good for them.
Yeah.
The movie in 2023 was Elemental.
Okay.
It was like a
Oh,
Disney
yeah.
or Pixar. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Cute movie.
I didn't see
Pixar,
it.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looked good. And then the game was Lethal Company. I don't know that.
I've heard of it. Oh, that one might be a horror game that's on Steam.
Oh, I'm surprised a horror game would be the most popular.
But it's like it's a cooperative game, so you go into a lobby with 4 or 5 other guys, and then you go through like this abandoned warehouse to get certain like sciencey things. But there's some horrible science experiment that went wrong, so there's disgusting monsters in
Oh,
there.
good.
So the whole thing is just like creating memories with your friends about like jump scares.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole appeal is like a bunch of idiots trying to figure it out while being terrified and making a bunch of mistakes.
That seems like a good like let's play YouTube one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Which
I could
always
totally
makes it more popular.
100%.
Yeah.
I could see why that would be big on the fanfic or
Right.
fandom net.
Fandom whatever. Fandom wiki.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2024. The last one. The TV show is Fundamental Paper Education.
What?
I had never heard of this.
No idea.
I did look it up. It's like a YouTube show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know anything about it.
Weird.
Yeah. I was very surprised when I saw that on there. I was like, did they leave like stock and like text on there on the graphic?
Whatever they did, people needed to understand it
Yeah,
better.
Fundamental Paper Education. And then the movie was Fantastic Four. Was there a movie that came out last year? Fantastic
Was there?
Four?
Was Michael
No.
Chiklis the thing?
No, there was one
was
that
back then.
was in between. They announced the new Fantastic
okay.
Four last year.
So people were
So
just
it's
like,
coming out in 2025.
refreshing.
Yeah.
It's a
a lot of
misdirect.
people are excited about it, apparently.
Yeah.
The cast is very good.
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
The last Fantastic Four movie was bad.
It bombed
Oh,
horribly.
man.
Yeah.
Maybe people are hopeful.
But I think Marvel actually has control of this one.
Okay.
Pedro Pascal is playing Mr.
oh,
Fantastic.
he's so good.
I'm on board.
yeah.
So yeah, they
Cool.
they put some dollars into this one. I think.
I would hope so.
Reviving it.
Because the last one was basically like the
Michael B. Jordan was the Human Torch, right?
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
I love him. That's sad
Yeah.
that it was not good.
Michael Chiklis was the
No,
Rock Man.
that was 2 ago.
Oh my god, that's right. Because Michael
Yeah.
B. Jordan would have been very young. for that
Yeah,
one.
True.
the one 2 ago, Jessica Alba was Sue
Oh,
Storm,
yeah.
and Johan
That's right.
Griffith was Mr. Fantastic.
That one was not.
Chris Evans was the Human Torch.
Oh yeah,
I did see that one. Yeah, I remember that.
forgettable,
Yeah, but
yeah.
but still
Chris
enjoyable.
Evans was like 12.
I know.
crazy. Oh my goodness.
Like, think everybody needed that after the Catwoman movie that came out, and it just didn't.
Which, incidentally, a patron called inquiring about the other
Wow.
day.
And we don't have it, I'm guessing?
I forget what
We were confused
Yeah.
because they asked for, what did they say, the 2024 Catwoman?
my
yes,
gosh.
I thought that's what they said,
and we
but they
were
said
like-
the 2004.
Oh,
so I was like,
yeah.
I can't find it, bro.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the only one I know is the one
The
with
Halle
the bad
Berry
basketball
one.
scene.
Yeah.
He's like, that's what I'm looking for, bro.
Oh.
So he left very happy.
So we do have it.
Oh, yeah.
And then last thing, the game of 2024 was Anime Last Stand. Also don't know what that is.
Don't either. Disappointed.
I was surprised Minecraft wasn't on any of these.
Oh, yeah.
Or like Animal Crossing or Stardew Valley. Like there's
Yeah.
like lore. A lot of
Especially
lore.
since the picture
Oh, wait.
is Minecraft. Isn't that a Minecraft?
Yeah, Minecraft was 2013. We just didn't go back that
gotcha.
far.
I think
That makes sense.
Minecraft has its own wiki now, so it's possible that
That makes
people
sense.
don't need to go because that's pulling data from that website, right?
Yeah.
So
Which they
through-
make, each of them has their own website with like under that umbrella, but they made like their own thing.
Yeah, I believe so.
That
Which
makes sense. They're huge.
they are huge. It's a game that is built upon like recipe combinations.
Yeah. So
Like,
much like
gonna have to have
lore
a
and
wiki.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
You need like a book.
We got them all.
God.
Well, we don't have them all, but we have a ton of Minecraft books.
True.
They go up pretty well. I
what I
use
got.
the Minecraft wiki constantly because my 8-year-old, he's not 78, he's 8 years old. He wants to build stuff with me, and I always like
Fun.
I no longer have to use it because he has access to YouTube sometimes, and he knows too much.
I could watch much worse on YouTube.
He does.
Oh no.
Don't worry.
Oh, buddy.
Wow, fandoms.
Yeah. That was a lot, but I think it was all good.
Yeah, I think so. Thanks, Chloe. That was fun.
Yeah.
Well, join us next 2 weeks. Join us in a fortnight.
Yeah.
In a fortnight.
In a Fortnite, which is also a Taylor Swift song.
Oh, there you go. I had this is
She's everywhere.
a short side story. I had a author come to my school and read and give books to the kids.
Oh, yeah.
And the book that she had for the old like 3rd grade and up was a little chapter book with 50 Taylor Swift song titles. sunk
Oh,
in.
how fun.
Yes. She asked me if she was like, "Did you catch the Taylor Swift stuff in the book?" I was like, "What are you doing?" Because I don't know any Taylor Swift really, so I was like, "You got to tell
So
me what
fun.
that means right now before the kids get the book."
She just like sneaks up behind you and puts her arm around you and
Did
says,
you catch it? I was like, "What do you mean?"
please stop.
Yeah, the kids are excited though once she told them that.
I'm sure they picked it up pretty
Yes, we have a lot of like 4th and 5th graders who are huge Taylor fans. Very
Oh,
cute.
cool.
Swifties.
Yeah. So I think next we're doing, is it Monster Mash next?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we're going to play that song because I think it's public domain now.
Should be. I think
Maybe.
so. Close to it. I don't know.
Did you know that he wrote a bunch of songs in the 60s and they all sounded like Monster Mash and nobody liked it?
Oh,
No.
that's sad.
Tragic. Yeah.
That is
I guess
tragic.
if it was the 60s. It's probably not in the public domain yet.
No, definitely not.
No.
We'll still play. We can get away with 2.5 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair use.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for coming back, guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's good to talk to you guys again.
Yeah. Shout
Catch
us
up.
out. Follow us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are we?
Give us a rating.
Spotify, Apple, Pandora.
Pandora.
Where else?
We got a website.
We do.
Pocket Casts.
Yep.
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 It's everywhere.
Find us where you find all of your other podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
Give us a rating. Leave us a comment.
Helps a
Yes.
lot. Tell your friends. Tell your mom told all of her friends about our
continue
podcast.
to do so.
Yeah.
Tell your brother to tell all of his friends.
There you go.
Yep. He'll tell me what he found wrong with this episode. I expect nothing less.
Perfect.
Yeah. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yay.
Bye.
Bye.